What would you recommend a new tattoo artist that's coming in, whether he's an apprentice or he's just started? Like, how should he treat his clients? How would you approach it if you were to
Well,
give some advice to a young artist that's just like, man, I really want to start building my clientele base, you know?
my first thing would be is to really ask yourself if you really want it. Because, like anything, like I said, anything worth it's going to be hard. So
Yeah.
you got to go 110% more if you can.
Mm.
But one thing I will say is that one thing that stuck with me, that was told to me, was by Mr. Untouchable. I don't know if you know who that is on Instagram. He had Untouchable tattoo
Yeah,
for
I
a
met him.
minute, right? And I went to visit him one time. He invited me over to his private studio, and he told me, when you get like a first time client, he said, make sure, or any client, if you have a client in your shop, especially since you guys have like a lot of people here, make sure that your client feels like they're the only person in the room. No matter how hectic or loud or whatever the shop is, make your client feel like they're the only person in the room.
All right, guys. No. Like every time I say that now, it reminds me of you fucking
yeah, that's
starting
right.
shit. Allow me for that shit.
I was thinking it too. You were thinking it. Just started, boo.
All right, we are back. Welcome back to another episode of the IQ Project right here at Iconic Tattoo Studio. So we got a special interviewee today, Mario Inks, right here. Yeah.
Thank you guys for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for coming. We have my co-host right here, Rickytatt,
Yo,
and Romeoshades.
the spot filler.
Yeah.
Spot today, dog.
Yeah.
How does it feel being on the
other side?
Yeah.
You know what? I think this might be my good side, so we're good. We're good.
That's
Well,
right.
that's the south. Well, that's the south side. Eh? Technically, where we're at.
All right. So before we get started, again, this podcast is brought to you by Iconic Tattoo Studio. For any of your tattoo needs, please follow us on Instagram at iconic_tattoo studio.
Yep.
All right, let's get started. So, Rickytatt hit up Mario through Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
And asked him to come.
I begged them to.
He begged him a little bit.
No,
but-
no. He didn't have to.
I had to tell him like 4 times. Like,
He didn't have to.
We need
No, no.
somebody.
It was an easy call.
Yeah.
Call. Like I said, I've been watching you guys. It's good to finally meet you guys in person. But I've been watching you guys, and like I said, I see what you guys are doing, and I respect it. You guys working together and all that stuff. So it was an easy call coming over here, bro. It was no,
Okay.
big, you know. It was
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.
Part of this season of the podcast, you know, or this second part of it, I guess, is that we really want to focus on the interviewee. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we want to pick people that I feel like, or we feel, I guess, that as a team that has something to say in the Inland Empire, because like that's where we're from. You know, Fontana. We're not where we're from, but this is where we're making we spend most of the time here. So, just looking at artists, man, I just I follow a lot of them here, and I want to see what they're about. And I just little by little I got to start seeing Mario's work, and it was really good. But above the work, I got to see some of his lives, and then I would hear him out how he thinks, and I was like, oh man, he'd be good for a podcast because he thinks in a business form, and he thinks mature, and the way he spoke, I've never heard him, I never met him before.
I appreciate that, bro.
I just figured I'd shoot out the invite, and right away he jumped on it. I was like, hell yeah, cool,
That's great because it makes us see that there's other people out there, especially tattoo artists, that are thinking like us as well. It's just,
And
it's
that's
hard-
why it was an easy call.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of artists would want to do this. It's
Yeah.
just nobody makes the effort to set something up like this, and only a few do. And then when you have it done, we have a platform now, then it can start,
Mhm.
and anybody can do it, But
Definitely.
we're here. Appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys.
Let's drop some gems, man,
It's-
on these
yeah.
young kids.
Yeah,
Whoever
yeah.
wants them. The point of this, interview is just to get to know you. A lot of, and when you share, a lot of people that know you are gonna get to, actually You said you don't really
I-
show
I-
your face too
Yeah,
much.
correct. I don't really show my face too much on social media.
Yeah.
Um,
But this is a chance because we're gonna be here for like an hour and a half or so.
Yeah. We'll see how long it goes.
Just tell your people what you're about and the stuff like that. So
Yeah, bro.
Josh is gonna start it off.
Well, actually, let's just hear your story, bro. Like before tattooing, you've been tattooing for what you told us, 11 years.
about 11 and a half years or so. I started tattooing when I was 17 years old.
Were you doing anything else before that?
School.
Just school.
I was doing school. I was doing graffiti.
Oh, okay.
I was doing graffiti. Probably I started maybe around like 13, maybe 12. I can't remember. And I've done that, and that kind of opened up my mind to the whole art world, I guess you could say. Breaking the rules. You know, in art there's no rules, so it's like it gives you like a different mentality. I feel like so. I was a little more focused on that than I was in school.
Yeah.
And then I started, you started doing graffiti, doing the black books. They got black books you draw in, and everybody, takes a page. Until one day I get called up to the office, and I'm thinking I got an early day to go home. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, And as soon as I walk into the office, they got a book with the piece I drew with my real first and last name on there, and I'm like, oh shit, wow, okay. Cops are there, and a couple other people are there, and everybody's getting in trouble. It's like 3 of us, so we're getting in trouble, and it was weird. It was the weirdest thing. I think they got like tickets or something, and then the principal introduces me to the cop, and she tells him, this is so and so, and she said, you can leave when the bell rings. Put your talent to better use.
Damn.
And I was like, whoa. Okay, and that was the same time I found out I was gonna have my first child.
17?
At 17.
Man.
17.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
you are 28 now.
28 now. Yeah, she's 11.
11 years
She's
old.
11 years old.
Wow. I got an 11-year-old, but I'm 40. So damn, you're young, dog. That's like you have an 11-year-old dog.
Oh man, I can't see that right now.
Do you have an 11-year-old somewhere?
I don't know. Not that I know of yet.
It's a spider dog, bro.
It's my dog. That's crazy, man. So I feel like, things happen for a reason.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I was trying to look for an alternative. Obviously, I'm like, damn, maybe I do need to look for something that's not gonna get me arrested.
So what got the ball rolling into tattooing?
Being around my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law owns a tattoo shop inside the Fontana Indoor Swap Meet, and I thought I wanted an airbrush. I'm like, well, what's the thing that can go best hand in hand with spray paint, airbrushing?
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law's like, nah, bro, tattoo. And I'm like, nah. I was being kind of stubborn, and he was like, nah, tattoo. And then I noticed one of my cousins was gonna go work there, so I'm like, damn, maybe I should tattoo. I started hanging around on the weekends because I was going to school. I was 17. Started hanging around, going on the weekends, helping out, taking out the trash, doing that stuff. And being around them, just I'm like, damn, maybe this is something cool. This is something, And my brother would send letters home. He's incarcerated, and I would see the cursive that he would draw my mom and her face when she would look at it. So when I would see that, it made me start wanting to teach myself how to write script, because all I knew was graffiti. But I felt like more could come out of script, obviously, if I'm going to be tattooing.
Yeah.
So I tried to teach myself how to do script. I copied one of my brother's. It was like happy birthday words, to my mom. And then after that, I've never really looked back as far as graffiti. Like I felt like I kind of had to put a pause on the graffiti mindset to learn the script flow. It's a little bit different. So yeah.
Do you remember your first piece you did?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Remember how nervous you were?
You know what? Everybody always asks me that. I've never been nervous.
No?
I've never been. I don't feel like I've ever been nervous.
No?
To this day, even when you do,
no matter how crazy something looks, I see growth. So
you approach it with the calm head.
I know that there's light at the end of that tunnel. So why not go full force? Why not get the full experience, full outcome?
now is this part of your mindset of, because I know you mentioned like positivity,
right?
Does that come with that? You're just like, I'm never gonna think doubtful of like what's this stencil has, like
Definitely.
Is that what it is?
Just trying to keep putting out what you want to get back. You know what I mean? And And at the end of the day, I wanna come out of that tattoo not like I should have done this, I could do this. Like no,
Mm-hmm.
I gave it all that I could. The only thing I could do is learn and put that into my next piece. If I don't do that, then yeah, I'm failing or going backwards.
So you didn't do like an apprenticeship, right?
No,
Not like a traditional one.
no,
whatever
not
they
like a
call it.
traditional apprenticeship. I still don't even know what that really consists of. To tell you the
But
truth.
did you have some kind of mentor that guided you? Like, hey, this is a needle. This is how it goes on the skin.
Um,
Was your brother-in-law? You said.
so I had my brother-in-law, and it was more watching than anything. So I would watch, and then my cousin started working there, and then two guys actually that I became real good friends with. His name was Els and Spooky, and they were a little bit younger, so I felt like we got it off a little bit easier, right? Like I was 17,
Yeah.
and they were. I mean, they have a little bit of years on me, but early 20s, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So with them, they felt like they were barely starting too, and I like that. Even though I hadn't barely started tattooing, but they still see me like this, like I said, equally, right? And they would tell me like, man, I don't know shit, but this is what
But this is what I
I've
know.
tried.
Yeah.
So then when I started tattooing, it was like we were exchanging opinions, like, yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So it was just like working together, because we were all trying to learn,
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool, man.
Damn, that's a different way.
So I saw you do more black and gray, right? Is there did you start off just with black and gray, or did you try other things as well?
The way I do my black and gray now is because I used to do color.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I used to do color, and color basically taught me like the saturation and layering
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that I also want to teach like on seminar I mentioned earlier. I'm not the best, but I do want to share what I've learned on my own,
Yeah.
to pass that on and see if that helps. But because of color, I kind of tattoo the same way with black and gray. I do want to get back into color. It's funny that you say that, because I was talking recently on a live with I don't know if you follow Pooch Arts.
Yeah.
I was on the live when you were there.
Yeah. So we're talking right there, man, and
Did you take the seminar?
not the group one, but I'm gonna actually message him for a private one.
Private one.
I didn't
Oh,
know
okay.
that was like a thing until somebody said private seminar. So I'm like, oh, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the way that he gave me like his response. That's what made me want to do. Ultimately, like even if I pursue color or not, that response just told me who he was as a person. And I just want to
What do you say?
work with that. I'm like, yo, I want to take a seminar. I didn't know, because I didn't know he
You
did
didn't know
that.
he offered them. Yeah.
So you could just imagine like anybody else, like
Mhm.
everybody wants to take a seminar, he's not even knowing who I am or whatever. So he's like, all right. So he's like, all right, well, we could do it, but we want you to send us an email of like who you are and why you think you would learn from me or something like that.
So I was there on the
Right?
live when you were talking to him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, Mario Inks is in there.
Yeah.
So I follow him too. I like his brand. I like what he's doing.
Yeah,
as a
exactly.
business.
Well, let's break down first. Like Pooch is a big color artist out here in the Inland Empire as well, right?
A great artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
He does
one
a
of the
lot
best,
of color realism, and then he does color
Is it
pencil.
Pooch
Yes.
Arts now. Pooch _ Arts.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
POCH.
Yeah, POCH, and he's doing really good. And it just happened that I was on the live. He was doing what was he doing? Was he doing that or Jessica Rabbit?
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, really saturated, really
yeah,
good.
Beautiful.
And I was watching it, and I saw this guy go on. And I was like, oh shit! And then you asked him, but I already knew he was doing seminars.
Yeah.
And actually, in a week from that point, he was gonna do that group seminar, but he wasn't gonna
Yeah.
tattoo.
Yeah.
But anyways, he asked him, and Pooch was like, you know what, dude? Send me an email. We're gonna send you a questionnaire,
Mhm.
and then you gotta fill out that questionnaire. And if he likes what you say, then he'll accept you because his time's valuable.
Because he's took certain seminars
Mhm.
from some of the best artists around, and I mean, ultimately his gold is given away, so he wants to make sure he's giving it to the people that he feels deserve it.
He actually even
that was dope.
started his apprenticeship with or restarted an apprenticeship with Steve Butcher too, right?
Who?
Pooch.
Yeah, he said he went and did some apprenticeship with
Oh,
him.
probably like a seminar or something too.
No, like he did a whole year apprenticeship
Oh,
with him.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, like 2 years ago, I think.
Oh,
with
dope.
him.
Dope.
Because even Steve Butcher's right here in Corona now. Yeah.
Dope. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
And it shows in his work, and he's phenomenal, and he sticks to color, and he's really good at it, right?
Yeah, that color is a whole different ball game, man.
It is, man. I try to mess with it.
He does it here.
I do it mostly,
I see it's good.
You know what I say? I like, there's just two approaches that you could do about tattooing, You could either just like stay niche to a certain style and grow from that, or you can, and which is fine, or you can just, the way I see it is I like to get uncomfortable.
Right.
And I'm not saying
I couldn't agree anymore.
And I'm not saying that I'm the best at black and gray or I'm at a certain level. I just know myself when I get to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm just doing black and gray again.
Yeah.
I want to stop and then do something different, whether it's line work, because my line work ain't the greatest either. So I want to test myself so I can always be like, remember I told you? Mm-hmm. How was it doing? And I was like, I was constantly thinking, and that's what I want. That's when my brain's tired of thinking. That shows me that I'm grown, that I want to grow personally. So that's how I approach that.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree anymore with that.
It's just a different approach, but
I just get irritated with color
because it's messy, bro. The inks they smear more. Yeah. They're a heavier weight, so they smear. And then you got to think, if you do green with yellow, you're gonna be, and then if you go on to yellow, it's gonna be blue. And with black and gray washes,
it ain't nothing.
What the fuck? You just go over it, and look. You know how that TikTok is when you're like, you want to walk over and see what they're doing, and you just grab it off. And you can do it like that. You wipe it off, and it's still clear. Yeah. You can't do that with color. You're screwed.
I did that to Tony the other day. He was walking over. I forgot what I was doing. I was getting irritated too. And our boy Tony, he works right there next to me. He comes over to see what I'm doing. I'm just like, oh, what's up, bro? I dipped my finger into the ink. I was just like, smear it.
Just so you can't see the product. You do that with color, bro. You already fucking cross, and then that's what it's a trick here. Yeah. So
ultimately, that's why I couldn't agree with the uncomfortability thing. I couldn't agree more with that, because now, like, I'm not the best, like how you're saying either. I agree with that also.
I feel like we need to stop saying we're not the best. We are experienced to our own path. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, who's to say who's the best? You know what I'm saying? It's all subjective.
Right, I agree with that.
Just because you have more followers than somebody else does not qualify you're the best.
Nah.
Right. I mean, you might be. I got a client that thinks that I'm the fucking greatest tattoo artist in the world. You have a client that thinks you that, right?
Definitely.
You show them your work and you cross them and they're gonna be like, nah. It's because there's an attachment an experience with that artist that they don't want to fuck with nobody else. Exactly. So how can you say as a person, I'm just sorry to interrupt because I said that right now too, and I'm like, we should think different. We have to change the mind of an artist.
No, I agree with that.
No, that's true. I mean, and I think that's why people are willing to travel for artists as well. It's just that experience you provide for them. Obviously, they love the work if they're coming to you,
right?
But it's mostly that connection you build with that client too.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
I love getting returning clients.
Yeah.
Working on the big projects and stuff like that. And that also kind of shows that they obviously feel comfortable with you.
Yeah.
To keep coming back with you, because they could pick anybody in the world to get tattooed.
Oh, yeah.
They could go anywhere.
Thousands of artists, especially
just in one city, bro. There's so many tattoo shops.
So you did the Swami one tattoo.
Yes.
I feel like that gives it such a lower, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I worked at a Swami tattoo shop, But I mean, that's where you started. That's where you started. And you have a lot of respect for that.
It was,
Was it indoors?
It was indoors.
Oh,
is it still there?
It's still there. Yeah.
Dude, that must be like sales 101. Because think about it.
It was.
It's a booth.
It was.
It's like a fucking expo.
It was. It was like an expo.
And you have to there's no people walking across right here. You have to do it digitally. Back then, that's probably why you're a hustler, bro. Because you had to see, that girl and be like, hey, what's up? You want to get a tag? What's
That's
cracking?
how it was, bro.
Yeah.
If I didn't open my mouth, I wasn't gonna get fed, bro. Like I had to really.
The quiet one was not making money, was it?
Nah, bro.
And you realized that right away, I bet you.
And I would be. I mean, normally like people knew me to be quiet and stuff like that, but just when it came to that, there was no. It was just like an easy call. Like that's just what I had to do.
Yeah,
that's what I had to do. So
like,
it just
I need to get attention from somebody. Hey, mama, what's up? Or not mama, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the club.
So,
but I get it.
They are. I mean, they're some of the people I ended up tattooing. They didn't plan even to get a tattoo.
Right that day, right?
That day.
But you just happened to be like,
but you just vibed off with them, and they're like, man, you know what? They just never, because walking to, especially like back then, walking to most tattoo shops, they're intimidating.
Yeah,
bro. That's
so much.
Even then, like now, like if you have a lot of people in the shop, obviously somebody walks in, everybody's like looking at the
You
car.
still see the vibe of them. They're nervous. They come in.
Yeah, exactly. Because So, because especially since they still expect like the old.
Yeah,
old
we're trying to break that
shop vibes.
stigma.
Yeah,
the
right,
stigma, the vibes. Yeah,
So it's definitely changed
That's
over
cool.
the years as far as art. I think
I would have
and
loved to
vibes.
try it out because my version was tattoo parties when I started because I was tattooing.
I did those too.
Yeah,
I did.
you know
those
what I
too.
mean, and that's sales 101 right
At
there.
7 months, I was in Texas tattooing with my cousin. You
Oh,
know,
really?
Yeah, I was trying to get clients over there, anywhere that I could go.
You have to.
You have to,
get
bro.
in those uncomfortable positions.
Well, especially when you don't have Instagram
Back
and
then.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Back then, what was it? MySpace or Facebook?
MySpace.
Well, it
Was it
depends when
MySpace?
you started.
Maybe, yeah.
I started with MySpace. I had the fucking glitter. No, I'm just kidding. Rickytatt. No, before it was al 100, al 100.
With the music right there, you put your music.
Al 100, tattoo. No, I'm just kidding.
The sick backgrounds, right?
Yeah, with the sick
Yeah.
voice. Yeah, that's cool. So you did that, and then what did you? Where was your next step? Tell us more a little about your story. You know,
I left there and I kind of just went home. To be honest, I really thought I was at a point to where like I was even questioning whether tattooing was for me or not.
Yeah.
You know, it was hard getting work there and starting the tattoo and stuff. Like all my friends, you know, they were young, so most of them live with their parents. They couldn't even get tattooed. They get in trouble. You know, so I always found myself tattooing older people. But after that, I went home and then I'm just basically I'm kind of tattooing in my garage because I love it. But I'm like, fuck, I might have to just do this for fun.
Got it.
I just had
Because it wasn't
I
stable.
was just about to have my first daughter, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, like, damn, you know, and I thought I was just gonna have to give up.
So, were you working a different job and tattooing at the same time?
Okay, so this all happened pretty fast. Maybe like the same week or 2 weeks. I'm doing a couple tattoos at home because I didn't have that much work either. So I would go obviously like 2-3 weeks without tattooing.
Yeah.
So especially when you're first learning, you don't do it enough. Like anything, you're not gonna remember. You know, so
Yeah.
every time you do one, you're like, fuck. It feels like the first time again.
Yeah, because there's been such a break in
Yeah,
between.
such a break in between. And then, like I said, the only people I knew that tattooed was the people that were around me in my brother-in-law's tattoo shop. I didn't know nobody. So I actually, I'm just sitting tattooing there one day, and I get a DM from Knucklehead. It said like Knucklehead Tattoo on the page. I think that's his page still. Anyways, his name is Louis. He's the owner of Knucklehead Tattoo Parlor in Colton now, but it was in Redlands.
Okay.
It was in Redlands, and he sent me a message and asked me to come to his shop and check it out, and kind of offer me like a job type of thing. And since I don't know nobody, I thought it was fake.
Right.
I'm like,
You're like, what? Somebody
I'm like,
kicks
who
me?
is this? Like, they actually think like my work's worth anything or like
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like, what? I thought it was fake, bro. I didn't believe it.
Right.
And he's like, let me call you in a sec. And then he called me and he's like, yeah, come by the shop, check it out. If you like it, you can stay. What? Like, I haven't even met you. Like,
Right.
how, you know?
Yeah.
I wasn't used to like people showing love like that. And I'm like, this can't be true. So I'm driving to Redlands. I ain't ever been to Redlands. So I'm like,
It's already sketch
it
as it
feels
is.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch. I'm like, I don't know where I'm driving. It's dark. I'm just, next thing you know, there's only orange trees next to me. Like, I'm driving. And I'm like, damn, where am I going? I'm going to get kidnapped right now or something. And then I pull up. It's dark. It's dark. I was 17, you know? I looked like I was 14.
yeah, that's right. You
Like,
were
yeah,
17. We're thinking you're now.
I had
okay.
just turned like 18, right? Or whatever. So I looked like I was 15 years old, bro.
Okay.
So I pull up and so yeah, like I said, I look, I was 15. So when I pull up, they're not expecting
Yeah.
me
No,
either.
yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, like where's your mom and dad? You know? So I pull up, I'm like, damn, there is a shop called Knuckleheads. It's just real. So I'm like, what the heck?
Okay.
So I get off and I see my boy Louis that invited me. He's there tattooing in the front. He's like, give me a sec. I'll be with you. And then he's like, check out the portfolios if you like. So I'm like, all right. And I'm checking out the portfolios, and I already felt a good vibe with Louis. And then I seen a portfolio of somebody, and I seen this work in there that looked like some shit you see on Google, some shit you see on magazines, right? And I'm like, yo, whose work is this? He's like, that's my boy Alex. And I'm like, I kind of laugh. I'm like, yo, whoever's doing this is like printing out pictures or something, because I've never seen anybody this good.
Yeah.
I've never seen this in person, right? And he's like, yeah, he works in the back. So I'm like, no way. So I'm like, well, that would be good to be around. And then like Louis already a good vibe, and he's already showing me crazy love. And I'm like, damn, all right. So I went back the next day. And I started there, and I tattooed the first day. They got me an appointment, you know, and just never looked back from there. They've always kind of showed me love. I used to do lettering for fun, and they watched me do lettering one time, and they're like, yo, that's just dope. You should do something with that. And I had never been complimented like that, or like, you know, feel like it was actually worth fucking, you know, being a back piece or something.
Right.
And that motivated me, and every person I met in there, Brian, which huge influence of when I was there, because he would push me and put pressure on me, and he was that person that would tell you what you don't want to hear, but you need it.
Yeah,
you know, we all need somebody like that, and that was who was there. You know, whether it was like a little bit of a crooked line, he'd be like, yo, what do you think, Brian? Yo, that's dope, but next time, spend a little bit more time on like these lines, these outside gray lines you're doing here.
It's crazy.
Right.
And at that moment, that's when you went all in with tattooing, you would say? Like that was your
that
hustle?
moment, that day, I would say, like I said, they complimented my lettering. I did my first tattoo there. They thought it was like super dope. And I'm like, dang, what the hell? You know, I had only been tattooing less than a year. And yeah, that made me really go all in. I guess, you know, brought me back, because like I said, I thought I wasn't gonna have to stop tattooing.
Do you think because it was like a 1 year type of, from when you started at the Swami to going to Knuckleheads, right?
Correct.
Do you think maybe at the Swami you were just doing bangers, you know, and so you weren't really art inspired, and then when you went to Knuckleheads, you just saw the potential what you could take it to?
So it was Flash. It was Flash, right? You know, it was Bug Flash. It was Jose Lopez Flash.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Bug. And you know, all those artists that were out. And
but it wasn't your own stuff.
But it was normal to me, bro.
Oh.
Like I said, I didn't know nobody that tattooed. That was normal to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is the way,
Got
right?
it.
So I go to Knuckleheads, and they watch me kind of do the same thing. You know, try to get some flash or something for a piece. And Louis is like, nah. He's like, we don't do that right here. I'm like, what you mean? How do you do it, bro? You know?
That's the Swami, you know?
How do you do it? And then he's like, well, I usually freehand, or he started showing me like Photoshop. He's like, you could put some ideas together, but you got to create your own piece.
That's dope.
Especially coming from a tattoo, you know, you've tattooed, I'm pretty sure we've all done it, like tattooed a piece that's already tattooed, you know, stenciled that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I had busted out, I had some pictures of that, you know? He's like, no, we don't do that. So I'm like, yo, that changed everything
The mindset
for me, my whole mindset.
Now you have to think
you know,
differently.
because I'm always trying to do the best I can, but that's what I thought was the way. So I was doing the best I could that way, as far as the flash way went. But as soon as he told me that changed everything, and inspired me to keep with the writing, so I could freehand the writing. You know, just freehanding writing is obviously better to fit the body and stuff like that. And yeah, they just inspired me to kind of be more artistic, because I didn't have that. You know, I was doing graffiti, I was doing letters.
Right.
So they kind of, you know, do some drawing, you know.
Yeah.
Did that stress you out as far as like, man, not being, you know, artistically inclined or having, you know?
He doesn't get stressed, bro.
The
No, I'm just kidding.
only stress I would say would be like, because like I said, I got my daughter that was about to be born. I need money to buy diapers. I need money, you know, to buy formula. So maybe that, but it's like I said, when it comes to tattooing, I've never been nervous to do a tattoo on somebody, or like I'm the head first in it. Like I live for tattooing, basically. I mean, besides my family, obviously, but this is what feeds them. So, and like I said earlier, I tattoo like my life depends on it.
That's cool. That's crazy that you say that. I don't do it that way. That's not my way.
Since
you know?
I've started.
But it's crazy how some people think like that. You know what I mean? That they use tattooing as like, this is the way I'm gonna do my life. You know, it's crazy.
So I try to make sure I just put everything I got into it, because my future does depend on it. You know,
and it shows in your work, man.
Feed my
It's
kids.
dope work.
I try.
Yeah.
So I mean, you talk about a lot about learning and all that. Like, did you take any seminars while you're like there? Or were you just feeding off other artists? Or?
Nah. For the most part, I've always been a little bit different as far as what I do with tattooing because, even like with graffiti, that kind of just gave me that mindset. So we're like I said, there's no rules.
Yeah.
But then when it came to tattooing, there was always rules, especially the old ways. You can't do this. You can't do that. You shouldn't use a rotary if you haven't used a coil. That stuff. So no, I just the really wanting to make something of it, not only for my daughter at the time and my wife, because I have 3 now. 3 daughters.
3 wives?
Oh.
3 daughters. 3 daughters.
Damn, boy.
3 daughters. So and then like you can imagine, like my parents had government county jobs
Yeah.
and stuff. So for me to come out here trying to be a tattoo artist, they're like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
I left the government county job, and then they're like, nobody leaves these places.
Yeah.
They're set. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
like, nah, fuck that. I'm too ambitious for this, you know? And I got tired of the politics there too, because they wouldn't let me grow. But I see your point, you know?
Right.
Nobody leaves those counties. They're they're, you know, what do you call them? They're cushion jobs.
They're secure, yeah.
Secure.
You get 9 to 5 basically, and you get full coverage or full benefits.
Full benefits,
all that good
fucking
stuff,
sick pay, holiday pay. You're there for 8 hours. You only work. I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody, but this was my situation. I worked 3 hours.
Was it this county?
No, it was for Walnut Valley Unified over there in LA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my parents also, they're LA County. So I know they're a little bit different.
That'd have been
like
crazy if I knew your
County.
parents. You know someone's old. But thanks, dog. You made me feel old, dog.
Yeah,
No, I did it for 12 years, man. School district.
wow.
I started when I was 21.
Wow.
For Walnut Valley Unified. And I thought I was going to grow there. I was going to be a big dog there. I went to school for business, and I took some construction classes. Then I came to realize that it doesn't work that way. I mean, maybe I wasn't good enough at the time. I don't know. But it was.
Enough ass.
I didn't kiss enough ass because it's who you know sometimes. Because they were hiring people. I was like, I can do that job better than that fool, you know?
Yeah.
But no, because I didn't have the experience. I was like, well, how can I get experience if you don't fucking give me a chance?
Exactly.
So I fucking just said, fuck you guys. Yeah. I left. Never looked back. The next day, I took my kids to Disneyland, and I never looked back. So that's my little transition, you know?
That's dope. That's a big step.
It was big.
That's a huge step. I mean, even huge. I mean, considering where you're leaving, like you're saying,
yeah, like nobody would leave those jobs. Like
some people can't take that step even with not having like per se that type of job.
Yeah,
you know, and you taking that, sacrificing that job. That's big.
Facts.
I never worked a real job, so I worked always construction, or I did with his brother doing the jumpers, working under the table, and then tattooing on the side.
Yeah, he's never had a corporate job.
Yeah, I never had a corporate. I did have I worked for a collections office for like a few months.
Wasn't a real job either.
That wasn't a real job. Yeah.
So then for jobs, like you said, just out the gate, you went to a shop. Or anytime after that or during that, did you have, I guess you can say, a job or, you know, something else?
No, I've been tattooing my whole life.
That's dope, man. It's cool. I wish I would have done like that.
I've been tattooing my whole life. My parents didn't approve of me tattooing when I started.
That's all of us.
You know? So, I mean, now they tell the whole world, but
yeah.
But before they weren't, you know.
What's your background? Hispanic?
Yes. Hispanic.
Mexican?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
¿Hablas español?
Sí.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, well, it's like Mexican parents. I think that's the old culture.
Natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just
breaking barriers.
You know, that's exactly, breaking barriers. Now, my pops. If anybody was against tattooing in the family, it's probably my dad. You know, with the tattoos. But one day, you know, then I come, you know, tattooing. I probably had 2-3 years in or something like that. And next thing you know, we're at like Denny's for like a Father's Day, and my dad knows some of my homies from tattooing. Like he's real close with them, and so my dad's like, yo, we have my brothers and sisters. It's like 9 of us, so it's almost all of us there. So it's a lot of us. He's like, I want to show you guys something before we go in. And then he lifts up his sleeve, and it's a portrait of me and my brother. And
what the fuck?
That's what the fuck I said. That's the first thing I said. I think my mom saw the video. That's what I said. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, no way. Like, my brother's over there, like, trying to scratch it off. Like, we couldn't believe it, bro. It was so big because he was so against them. But
yeah,
that's how he showed us, like, his love. Like, I guess, like, because I don't know, because I'm tattooing, like he figured like that's his way, and
That'd be like the ultimate compliment to
ultimate
you.
compliment to me, and it was, bro. I mean,
That's dope.
even the family, like none of the family believed it till they came and seen it in
Really?
person, bro. Yeah,
Yeah. That's crazy.
because they knew him, you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
All right. So I mean, let's get back a little bit to the story. So you're at Knuckleheads. How long were you there for?
I was there for maybe like 3 years or so, or almost 3 years or something like that.
And what'd you do after that?
I went to Ink Spot for a little bit.
You did
in
Ink Spot?
Fontana, Citrus and Foothill for a little bit with my homie Junior. He was there for a while, and he's like, "Yo, come out." So it was cool. It was closer to me, you know. It was Fontana, you know. In Redlands, like I said, I had just started tattooing, so I found myself, you know, using my last $20 to get to work.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a lot closer for me, and I was there only for a little bit. But after that, you know, Junior opened Envisions, Citrus and Fontana.
I remember when he opened it. I don't know him personally, but like I said, I was always on. I always like to know what was going on because one day I wanted to open up a shop. You know, that was my goal when I first came to Inland Empire. I remember he was opening it up back there.
Yeah. So he opened up. It was him, and then my boy Els that I had met in the swap meet, and then myself. So we're like, hell yeah, like. You know, whoever wants to come after, it'll just be a bonus. But let's get it cracking. And yeah, we started. You know, as soon as we start, we didn't even open yet, and people were already like, "Yo, like, what are you guys doing? We want to come and work." So we're like, "Cool." So we had a few people come work. Next thing you know, we got a full shop and apprentice, and then just busting our butts.
Yeah,
you know?
That's dope.
And they were doing black and gray or some color there, or they do.
Man, you know what? That was pretty well. We've had a few people come in and out, but we were pretty well rounded. We had a little bit of both.
Is Envision the same? It's not Grand Terrace, is it?
No, that's a Envision tattoo, a different one.
Yeah. That's all traditional, right?
Right, correct. Yeah. From my understanding.
Yeah.
You're right there off of Citrus, huh? They were
I don't know. Yeah, this one. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah. By Juan Pollo.
By Juan Pollo.
Yeah.
The Juan Pollo went down though. Side note. It used to be the shit.
I couldn't say I ate it too damn much.
I just went the other day and I was like, oh, this ain't the same.
Don't tell me that because I'm gonna just leave it alone.
It's all about Kane. It's all about Kane. No, I just can't fuck with that shit.
That wasn't a paid ad.
That's crazy.
So you did that. So you did Ink Spot. Damn, you went to different shops. So that's awesome that you're getting even like.
This is all within 5 years too, right? Because it was 3 years, and how many years did you do over there?
At Ink Spot?
Ink Spot, you did like a year? No,
maybe not even that, honestly. And then from Ink Spot, I had went to it wasn't even that long that I was there, and I went to a private studio with on Instagram. His name is Joe Tat Cruz. Joe Tat Cruz in Ontario. He owns Gift of Design right now.
Yeah.
Great artist and good homie. I've known him for a minute. So him and it was me, Joey, Jacob. It's Jacob Iopu on Instagram. He works at Manifest right now. And then who else is it? Johnny, my boy J Rocks. So we were there together and right here down the street actually. And it was good. It was good too. They were like they had like their different style. So it was dope working. Well, I learned a lot also working around Joey because he has his style too. Yeah. So after that is when I think we did Luxury, I believe, right here in Fontana. So Luxury opened up. Alex opened up Luxury, and I've known Alex and Knuckleheads. So he opened that spot up, and then I've been there. It's been about 3 years or something like that. It's hard for me to remember, but somewhere around there. And then now I'm just kind of on my own for now, just kind of moving a little bit different.
Doing your thing.
I think I heard about you when you were at Envisions. I had seen Envisions, the tattoo shop, and I didn't know anybody, like I said, but I knew of your guys' work, and I was like, that's dope. And that's when I knew you were constantly doing a lot of like black and gray work there. Along with Junior, I guess.
Junior, yeah. Yep.
I've seen some of the work that he's done. Some clients have came in with their work, with his work. So from then on, I kind of like knew who you were, you know. Along with that's when I started I'm like, man, I need to get to know more of these artists around here, you know.
Yeah.
Because for a long time I was just about me and my home at tattooing at my house. I don't give a fuck.
Your
who.
bubble.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't care who's tattooing. I'm just trying to make I'm just trying to do me, you know.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
I wasn't all in tattooing, but I was just like, maybe I was just sticking to myself, you know.
Yeah.
But as we open up, as I was thinking that we were gonna open up a shop one time, I was like, man, it's good to know people and just see what other work is out there.
Of
You know
course,
what I'm saying?
of
Because you
course.
want to know what you kind of want to know, you know.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So from then on, I knew, and then slowly I started following you and other artists as well, and then this time finally we met.
I think that's pretty normal. Like when
Yeah.
when I first started tattooing, like I think that just came part of me wanting to just try to be the best, not the best, but my best at it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know who was tattooing.
You want to know
I wanna
what's
know who
out
was
there.
tattooing,
you know
like,
what I'm saying?
like especially since I didn't know nobody. Like you're saying, like I wanted. Oh, this dude just posted he did this tat. He's only been tattooing for 7 months, so I'm like kind of trying to compare. Like,
Yeah.
man, maybe how should
That's
my
the
look at
worst
7
thing.
months?
That's
You
the
know
worst
what I
thing
mean?
you could do too.
You know,
Is just compare
yeah.
your work to others.
I never let it influence me.
Yeah.
But it was always motivation.
Of course.
It was always motivation because I'm like, damn, this guy has almost the same time that I do.
Mhm.
You know, because like I said, I didn't know nobody. Everybody always like already had their years of tattooing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're an ambitious person from the get, you want to grow. You want to know what is out there.
Yeah,
and it's
of
okay
course.
to say I want to be the best. Who
And
cares?
I think it's just part of
You know what I mean? Like,
understanding.
There's no ego about
I mean,
that.
your industry.
Yeah.
You know.
You definitely want to be the best at you. If you're gonna compete, I mean, you're not gonna enter a race and don't care about wanting to be first.
Right.
You want to try,
Right.
but like I said, tattooing. We're going back to tattooing. Is so subjective, man. It's hard to say who's the best. Just try to be the best of yourself and
Your
always
best.
grow.
Exactly.
And if you feel like because tattooing, after 13 years, I've been doing this. I've been doing it professionally. Like 6 years. The other years was just like a hobby, fucking tattoo parties. I was just like, it's a side money, fucking, you know?
Yeah.
You have these like levels. You raise up, and then you wonder why you can't. You just leveled for a while, and you get frustrated, and you don't know what the fuck happens, but you still continue. Now all of a sudden, you do some tattoos, and you're like, fuck, I feel like I moved up to a different level, but you don't know when that triggered up. you know?
Yeah.
And that's how it feels, and that's why you got to be consistent about it, and that's why you always got to be trying to grow.
I think the want comes a lot in that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could like, even though I would go a couple of weeks without tattooing, I wanted it so bad
Yeah.
that I still improved on my next piece, even though I wasn't practicing. I was practicing here because like I said, maybe that's why I wouldn't be nervous or to tattoo anything, because especially knowing like who knows when you're gonna do another piece.
Yeah.
You gotta give this shit all you got.
Sure.
Who knows if I'm gonna do another dope piece or even tattoo at all in another 2 weeks or so. So
Someone said, I got a tattoo. I forgot who mentioned it, but said, I got a tattoo like this is my last piece, So I got to give him my all.
yeah, exactly.
Did he say that earlier? No, it was something. I think it was Johnny.
That's
Johnny
what we were
was
talking
like-
about earlier.
Hey, I
They
get
probably
a
worded it
forgetful
different,
mind,
the same
alright?
thing.
So we'll clip this out.
Keep it
But you have to be hungry, bro. And you
Yeah.
have to be hungry. And, it's interesting. You're saying all these points, man. Like, you have acquired a lot of experience from different shops. We don't know any of the
different
shops.
artists.
For different artists and shops. The
Yeah.
experience, how something was done. I'm pretty sure the way Knuckleheads and Redlands was working is way different than the way Envisions was working.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody's their own approaches.
Definitely.
There's no like cookie cutter.
The thing is that when I worked per se with Junior Visions or Louis at Knuckleheads, they made me feel that way, that we were the same. So like we were all in it together, and he was still growing. Like he didn't know what he was doing, but we're all in this together. Like we're gonna do this as a team.
Like, hey, come on,
You know,
join
like
me.
so we all learn stuff. Like
Yeah.
health department coming. Like we all fucking learn how to deal with that at the same time, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
that's interesting to say. So you guys were saying like,
it never felt like how can I say, like a
Like
big,
someone's on top of you.
Yeah, exactly. Or like any old shop vibes, I guess you
Yeah.
would get, from before.
when we had our first apprentice, Johnny, we told him when he came in, I'm like, look, we never did an apprenticeship for anybody. We're gonna do it the way we want to do it, the way we feel that we're gonna help you grow and you're gonna help us.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we told him like, this is a learning process, And then the second apprenticeship with him, obviously we learned some ways how to make it better for him to get more knowledge,
Right.
But it's always a learning game,
He got it,
and nobody
He got it
knows.
bad.
I even feel weird about saying apprentice.
Yeah.
Really?
I it's hard for me to just say it or call somebody that. It's hard.
I mean, there's no other understudy. I mean,
Yeah,
but I feel like apprentice maybe gives it sometimes we think it negative. I told him, own it. I told him, didn't I tell you, own
for
that
them,
shit.
I feel like now, like it's good. Like like you said, own it. But like especially like when I would get
Back then
clients,
starting.
they're like, "Yo, is that your apprentice?" I'm like, "Nah, he's just teaching them some stuff. You know, I'm learning. He's learning how to tattoo, and I'm trying to help." You know, that's how I would answer that because I felt weird saying because I just automatically I feel like
you
I'm
feel like already
he's
above.
below. Yeah, I don't like feeling above at all, and especially when it comes to them, I don't want to feel above because I want to feel like he could relate. Maybe he'll really listen to more of what I have to say because when you feel like somebody's above, it's like you almost feel like you can't relate.
Yeah,
because they're in a different level, but we come from the same place. We all go through stuff.
Yeah, the experience levels is different.
You're right.
So there's something to say about that, though. You know, some kid that walks in and says, "Mario, teach me." You know, you can't expect for him to have the same love and appreciation of the experience you went through.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there is a difference in that point.
So
you know,
I also understood that like I was trying to almost hand out a little bit too much to certain people that I was trying to teach, and realize that part of what I know is because
you went through a struggle.
You went through the shit, you know. So now, if I teach somebody, I'm really hard. Some of them will hate me for a day, but then they're like, "Hey, thank you," you know. But I'm really hard. Like if you're asking me, especially for help or to teach you, like I said, I'm my best. I'm not the best, but I'll teach you what I know.
Yeah.
And especially if you're asking, bro, like it was different when we were tattooing and trying to ask how to tattoo. Nobody wanted to teach you the secrets.
Bro, I remember I took a machine. We took a tattoo machine to a shop right there in Foothill, old timer. I was like, "Hey, bro, like I can't get this to work." Yeah. I was like, "You fix it." And he was nice enough to fix it, but he took it to the back and then he
did his thing. Yeah,
did his thing and brought it back. He's like, "Here you go."
Because they feel like you're going into their pockets or whatever. You know?
It's old mind thinking, bro. You know, it's old school thinking, I guess you could say it. Like, and that's to each his own. That's what existed around. That was the culture back then. It's definitely changing, especially with these podcasts. Like, I don't know too many fucking podcasts that are talking about this right now. You know, they start a little bit and then they stop. We're a little consistent on it. You know, I
mean, everybody making their mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're trying to say that we're being real and we're talking about like these situations. Like, everybody has gotten a no. I've gotten many no's when I first started, so I had to do it myself. And then doing it myself, well, there was no shortcuts because I had to do it myself. You know,
I mean, going back to how you were talking about how you approach teaching someone, you allow them to make those mistakes, right?
So
in a way,
understanding that they, like I said, like I learned what I learned because of the stuff you go through, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that they have to go through the same bad stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
If you learn from it, you should be able to teach without them having to go through that. So I apply good pressure, like, or what I think is like my pressure. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I would see him slacking or like copy a tattoo, like I'm like not for that. You know, I'm like, yo, don't do that. Anything that I would see, everybody's different. So like I would observe.
Yeah.
And
you
then
have your values.
According to, I would watch him tattoo, you know, every day and whatever. I feel like, you know, they needed help. I would just kind of try to advise it. But like I said, sometimes I'm a little hard, but it's better that way than just fucking up a tattoo or something. Like I could have just told you like to do this. You know, you don't have to do that. You know, save that for when you know your own creativity. Like put that into your art and your tattooing.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I'm because we, like I said, we never knew what an apprenticeship.
Bro. You got him stunned.
No, I was thinking of how to like throw in another topic, but we'll continue on this. No, because like with an apprenticeship, like I said, we named it because we didn't know what else to name it, right? And what we said is like, all right, there's different timelines. Like, who's to say what's the right timeline, right?
Exactly.
But we talked and we said, all right, we know a year's. You can't learn everything of a shop culture in a month because one day is super slow, and you can attest to this, right?
Every month, every day is different.
Every day is different. You might get a lot of experience in 1 week, but that week took 3 months to get there. So we decided, let's do a year apprenticeship where they gave us their time, you know? And by them giving us their time, it shows that they're invested a lot of time. You think they're going to quit after doing a whole year?
Yeah.
That's the perfect example of what I mean by good pressure.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? You're applying that, like, I will make him sacrifice his time, but
Yeah.
then that also tells you that he's serious.
Yeah. Bro, he's never missed a day that
way
you know,
you're
only
gonna,
once maybe, but
I'm sure
Twice.
that way
Okay.
you
Twice?
keep,
I can count with my hand. Right? And one of those
very
days almost
impressed,
died,
though, dude.
dog.
Like for instance,
That's
like
good.
anybody that comes in now.
It's rare now.
Okay, so
I feel
Johnny,
like-
our first guy, took it to a certain level. We're
Mhm.
like, holy shit, you know? He has sick ass art skills, you know what I'm saying? And then he went through it. And then this guy comes in and he didn't have his portfolio as strong as our other.
But he had the want.
But he had the want. So now the next person that comes in, bro, has to blow us up with either the want as high as him or
Ours
more.
already set. That's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he said it, and we always preach it to him. You know? And I don't think we ever made you feel any less, right? Like we always said, we're a team. We're gonna teach you, and if you at any time you feel you're not being taught by us, then you tell us straight out.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what's big on that too. As hard as I was on my you know, I call him my family because I work next to him, you know. I would tell him the same thing. Yo, if you ever feel any other type of way besides that I'm teaching you, make sure you tell me. You know,
Right.
Because I don't know how you're taking it, so that way
Yeah,
I could
it's
reword it or
misinterpreted.
something, misinterpret it. Yeah, exactly. Because it all comes from good intention. You know, no matter
Yeah.
how of a dick I may sound when I said that, but it's all for, you know.
All for growth.
I feel like
Exactly.
as long as you're not smacking them,
Yeah.
you're fine.
No, yeah.
we tried the chicken soup, but he
You
didn't fit
know?
in it, bro. We're gonna put him out there
because
you heard the stories, you know, the whole
Yeah.
class of that's not productive for anybody but your own ego.
Yo, I remember.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, exactly.
Like I'm
It
gonna put him
doesn't
on
do
a fucking
nothing.
chicken suit to go over there and put tattoo.
No.
That's just haha. We made him do
It's-
that. No,
yeah.
I remember
fuck that.
One of the
Draw.
apprenticeships.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the apprentices over there where I started in San Diego, they made him wear the maid apron.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah.
With no just
Just
with
well, I
clothes?
mean with everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
just by itself.
A maid apron, little duster.
No, look,
thing.
because I look
Yeah.
at tattooing, bro, as a business too. Like I'm very heavy on that. Some people disagree with me, but the fact of the matter is, if you're not making money, then it's a hobby, and you can't survive off of a hobby.
Mhm.
You know. And so what I tell them is like, we have nothing to do, draw, because that's what brings you your awareness, your clients potentially. You never know who somebody what they want. So just draw. If you have nothing to do, draw. If all your stuff's taken care of, if you already talked to you so and so or whatever.
I like to say be
Draw.
productive, because sometimes what if drawing burns you out? Sometimes,
Yes,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Damn.
That's
good.
that's true. That's very true. But he's not drawing
Just
all the
like
time, you know.
tattooing.
Like
Yeah.
you draw like for an hour or two, and then he gets up and he does something else. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, it's not 8 hours. Nobody can fucking draw for 8 hours, bro. That's
Yeah.
you know, that'd be
No, yeah.
draining,
You know
you know what I'm But like, you know what I'm
But
saying?
sometimes, like, say for every day, like, say if that's the only thing that you know what to resort to, sometimes you also get tired of that,
Yeah,
or like you're doing a piece and you lose motivation because it almost feels like
yeah, of course.
it's not coming from your heart no more.
Start something
Yeah.
else.
So I always
you know?
feel like you always gotta have different things
That's smart.
to recharge off of, so that way whenever you go back to one, you're fresh.
Yeah.
You know,
cool.
I'll
And
go paint, and when I go back to tattoo, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
If I'm burnt out on tattooing, I'll go do, and then I'm burnt out on painting, I'll go fucking spray paint, do something else, you know, and just kind of stay productive.
And speaking about different medias, I've seen on your page you made this canvas with a bunch of like it's like
Oh.
a collage of things, right? And you sewed it, right?
Oh, the weed stuff.
They were
it?
they were cannabis.
There you go, yeah.
like bags.
So that's your way of a different output of art, right?
Just staying productive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had made other art, but I'm like, I've already done that. What do
Yeah.
I do? So I made what you seen,
That's cool, bro.
you know, and that I coated it with epoxy and stuff. So yeah, just different. It could be anything, you know.
How
Stay
hard is it
productive.
to coat the canvas with the epoxy? I've been
I
trying
mean,
to do that.
It's not hard, bro.
No?
It's just a matter of understanding how it works.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is. Because I have a friend, he's like, yo, it's hard. But I try to explain to him, like, it's just a matter of understanding how it works.
Because it could bubble up. It could do different
Right,
things. No?
so-
yeah.
It's better to have, if you measure the square footage, you want to have a little bit more epoxy than what that square footage is.
Mhm.
So you're going to pour your epoxy per se on the edge. And what you want to do is get a actual, like a roller to paint. And you're going to touch all of whatever your surface is. You have to make sure you touch it. That's the point of that. It's not
Okay.
of evenly or nothing. You want to touch it. So everything gets touched. The edges, you want to touch the edges with the roller.
Mhm.
So that way when the epoxy gets near, it just rolls right off. Because if you don't touch the edges, you'll have spots that comes down here, it's empty. Comes down here, it's empty.
Okay.
So as long as you roll it,
Just try
it's a
to spread it out.
self-leveling product. You could squeegee if you get a little squeegee,
Mhm.
and then you just torch it for the bubbles if you get any air bubbles, and let it do its thing.
Yeah, that was a badass piece, and you sold it right away, dude.
Thank you. Actually, I kept it.
Oh, you didn't sell it?
I didn't sell it. I kept it.
Oh,
Like that's mine.
I ended up. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought somebody offered you something or something.
They
'cause I
did. They
remember-
did. Yeah,
right?
yeah. They did.
So you kept it for your own, huh?
Yeah. They did offer me some money, but it wasn't a number that just made me just. It was my first piece like that, so I'm
I
like,
thought it was smart though, because like for weed smokers, I think that have the money to buy that. That'd be dope in their living room.
well,
you know?
somebody that knows what it is, yeah, like they've seen it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, just without the epoxy and the canvases, like you're talking about like 2,200 in weed that's on the canvas. That's
Of
only
those
about
baggies?
of
I
those
don't smoke,
baggies.
so
That's only
to
about
me
this
it's
big,
like-
you know.
It's just a bunch of art.
So it's so I just made it into art, you know.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dope.
So
Sick.
That's dope.
that's a big part of my life. So I smoke, you know, I do for
smoke?
meditation, yeah,
Do you smoke before you work, or how does that work?
before everything,
Yeah.
anything, yeah, usually.
That's where the
Interesting.
patience comes from.
And especially when I'm tattooing, sometimes you know, you just you know, you're too close to the piece for so long, and sometimes you don't even want to take a break. But like the way my system, I have to take breaks. I take them. They're not just breaks because I'm tired. They're breaks because of what I'm doing. I
That's
have
what I
to
was gonna ask you.
yeah, they're breaks because I did something and now I have to wait for that to come up or whatever. I could emphasize on that or whatever, but and then I'll come back and the skin's ready for me, and then I'll do
Yeah, I saw your live one time, and I know exactly what you're talking about. He was doing a portrait, and he was starting. We were doing it with a mag, and
Mhm.
you were doing the cheek and the forehead of the area, and
Yeah.
you were going really light. And it made sense. You were there for like an hour,
Yeah.
just like doing the base, kind of opening up the skin,
all the
right?
extra light, yeah.
And then for the whole hour you're there, because I would jumped in, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's working on that, and I came back like in 45 minutes, and you're still finishing up. And I was
Finishing
like,
that,
but it didn't look traumatized, but it didn't look saturated either. You know,
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
like breaking
yeah.
the skin,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
breaking
I
the
was like,
skin, yeah.
that's a David Vega move right there,
You can I appreciate that.
right?
It's part of like my layering process, which that's what I love to like teach people, because like I basically taught it myself, you know. I mean, there's probably other artists that probably
Yeah,
maybe
David Vega
have done
does
it
that.
before or
He's well
something, you
known
know.
for that.
But yeah, so like you could do this like a certain amount of trauma on a certain area, and I could do the same amount of trauma on a certain area. But if your timing's different, it'll get scarred.
Okay.
If your timing's
Timing as far as what, like going back to it, or the timing of the machine?
well, there's a lot that goes into that actually. The person's skin,
Yeah.
everybody's skin's different, so you already kind of have to read it when you start.
Mm-hmm.
So depending how that goes, like every tattoo is different. You gotta adjust to
And that's
every
crazy,
piece.
right? Like the reason why I always wonder why I always start slow on the skin is because you jump onto the skin and you're reading the skin how it's gonna react to certain inks, and not always is the same.
Is it
It's
hard?
not like
Is it soft? Some people have hard ass
the
skin.
initial break of the skin is always gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Some people, yeah, they got some fucking good ass skin. It's just smooth.
butter, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's
just like-
good.
Have you noticed the one that like when as soon as you put the needle in, it just starts spreading like little cracks because the
Yeah.
skin's so dry?
Yeah.
That's the worst one.
So everybody, yeah, some
Yeah,
people
I
just
noticed-
have really good skin.
I noticed you do that layering process, and you brought it up, and
I that's why I do my black first actually, and that's
you do all your blacks first.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, as far as shading goes, but I'll outline the blacks first,
Oh. Okay.
and then I outline the grays, and then most likely that's time for a break right there.
And as we're talking like this, we're gonna have if you share some of your tattoos, we'll have Carlos put them up as you
okay.
talked in this point. So what I mean, so people can see what they're talking about.
Oh, dope,
I guess.
dope,
So we'll talk about that after.
Dope.
But
Yeah.
we want to get reference of, because he's really skilled, man. His
Yeah.
work is
I
really
appreciate that.
good. And one thing we do talk about here is how well it's saturated. You know what I mean? So I
Or
guess
how it heals too.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, it's
Thank
dope.
you.
Well,
I
I think
appreciate it.
actually I saw one of your healed pieces yesterday. Tony was tattooing someone you tattooed.
Oh, dope. Which one was that one?
I don't remember. I think it was like a rose or something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that pinpoints it.
I know. I did because I was tattooing too. So I was like, I just hinted over when he said, "Oh, Mario Inks," because that's when he told me that you were gonna come over. I was like, "Oh, I want to see something."
older piece or something.
Yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, dude. What do you focus on right now? Like, what is your clientele right now? Because I mean, there's levels in tattooing, you know. I feel like everybody has their own levels, and you have to grow as an artist. You want to jump into a different level, and by levels, it's not an ego thing. It's just saying, you know, you don't do infinity signs anymore.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You get to a certain point.
No more butterflies.
No more butterflies. No more. You know. No more little script. But everybody has their level, and everybody should enjoy that process of that level.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know,
Of course.
nobody just skips. I
No.
don't really know anybody that started
It's
from
part of the
zero
process,
to a
bro.
portrait done.
It's part of the process.
you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, exactly. So what do you usually like to do right now? What type of work comes to you?
Man, anything like you said that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Mhm.
If I'm not uncomfortable, I'm gonna make it as uncomfortable as I can. I'm gonna make it as hard as I can, and then I'm gonna tattoo it. But it could be anything.
But
people
mostly
always-
black and gray, or
black
are
and
you
gray.
messing with color?
Black and gray. I used to do color. I used to do it pretty well, but ultimately, like now, what I'm tattooing, if I ask myself what's gonna challenge me the most or make me the most uncomfortable, it's gonna be doing a full color piece.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna start doing full color.
Mhm.
Or
Can't
trying,
wait.
right?
And that's
Or trying.
I can't wait to see that transition.
I'm
Right
trying.
there.
yeah,
So-
that'd be dope.
Yeah, I mean, it taught me how to do black and gray, so I'm not like completely new to it. But I mean, there's some badass artists out there. So
because like if I look back at the last 2-3 months, it's been like black and gray portraits.
years,
right?
You're gonna go. Yeah, this was like I was in Knuckleheads doing color, so this
Oh.
was like I was 18 still.
But like
19.
your last, maybe if people were to see your Instagram, they would see the last month or two. What is it? What do you like? What is it? What type of style is it? Like just black and gray
black
realism,
and gray realism.
portrait, statues.
I don't even like to say like specifically portraits. Like I said, like black and gray realism in general, just because you never know. Like you could have somebody that is, if you say portraits, maybe a dope idea that's not in that category that you would have liked.
Right.
So when people ask me, what do you like? Like, what do you want? Like, man, it could be a damn coffee cup, but I'm gonna make that shit look tight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have fun doing it too. So it could be anything as long as it's I mean, obviously a little bit personal, you know, like at least something the person likes or reflects on the
Right.
person, and that way I could do my thing artistically and do something with it. Make me uncomfortable.
So do you jump in? Sorry, but do you do small pieces too, or mostly just full dayers?
Mostly just for my existing clients, I'll do small pieces for. It's rare I do small pieces for new clients. I like doing big pieces, and I do them small pieces for my existing clients because that's also how I kind of try to show my appreciation. Like,
Jam.
So you're more selective than on what you choose to tattoo.
correct.
Okay.
I'm it's kind of a luxury to be able to do that because
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do that before, but yeah, I try to be selective, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I could probably say I'm booked fucking the whole year, but I try to be selective and as to what's gonna better my growth.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really focused on.
That's something powerful you said right there. You know, once a tattoo artist gets to a certain level where they can just get clients that do full day sessions, but you choose to do small ones. That's very important that you decided to do small ones on returning clients because they are who built you. In a
They
way.
are you.
They are you.
Without
Once
them,
they
we're
accept it,
nothing,
yeah.
bro.
So if they want a small banger, you gotta, you know,
you gotta lace them up.
lace them up.
You gotta lace them up.
Oh, that's a new one. Lace them up.
We're using that one.
No, so it's smart that you do that because they are, you know, they are your community. You know, it's not the new people that are saying, "Hey, Mario, I saw your work. Get me blessed right here." He might get it and he might bounce, but it's the
Exactly.
person that came 10 times to you and you know, hey, bro, I just need this today. I can't get a full day for whatever reason. It's not money or it's maybe time. You
and
know,
we appreciate every single one, but those are special kind of appreciation.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know,
because they've been there, they've helped you grow and with that constant business,
and they could still always go anywhere else.
Yeah.
They could get tattooed by anybody,
exactly.
no matter what.
Yeah, so you young artists out there that watching this, and that's a very important thing. Always treat your clients with respect and know where their place is in, you know, and sometimes you really can't. Your schedule's too tight. you can't really fit them in, but it's how you tell them. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not like, nah, dog, only full day
definitely.
session, dog.
Definitely.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah. It could definitely be reworded in plenty different ways. And especially like if you're starting the tattoo, well, I mean, even now, but it's more when you're starting a tattoo because mostly all the people you're gonna get are first time people with you.
Yeah.
And it's important your first time experience because that person could stick with you your whole career.
What would you recommend a new tattoo artist that's coming in, whether he's an apprentice or he's just started? Like, how should he treat his clients? How would you approach it if you were to
Well,
give some advice to a young artist that's just like, man, I really want to start building my clientele base, you know?
my first thing would be is to really ask yourself if you really want it. Because like anything, like I said, anything worth it's gonna be hard. So
Yeah.
you gotta go 110% more if you can. But one thing I will say is that one thing that stuck with me that was told to me was by Mr. Untouchable. I don't know if you know who that is on Instagram. He had Untouchable tattoo
Yeah,
for a
I met him.
minute, right? And I went to visit him one time. He invited me over to his private studio, and he told me when you get like a first time client, he said make sure, or any client, if you have a client in your shop, especially since you guys have like a lot of people here, make sure that your client feels like they're the only person in the room. No matter how hectic or loud or whatever the shop is, make your client feel like they're the only person in the room.
Mhm.
Only you two. And I think that's definitely I think that's definitely helped a lot.
Bring that experience
As far as like making the clients comfortable and getting a lot of returning clients. I do get a lot of returning clients.
So building that connection right away.
Exactly.
Because they're already connecting with you by visual.
Exactly.
Feel me?
Exactly.
Like a walk-in is different, you know? You got to connect with them right there. But if they came to you and you're
that's
first
harder.
time.
That's
Yeah,
harder.
of
That's
course
why
it is.
it made it easy for me when I'm getting people that I've already seen my work
Right.
versus someone that's a walk-in, which I was doing.
Yeah.
I had to like
You had to
I had to make
quickly
them feel comfortable.
yeah.
I had to, bro, like I said, like some of those people
Sales
didn't plan
game
to get
101,
even
bro.
a tattoo, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going through that right now, right?
Yeah, for real.
Everybody's different, bro. You gotta talk to everybody different. You gotta think fast. As soon as the way they say hello, you gotta already know how to talk
Yeah.
to this person.
Do I use slang? Do I use proper language?
Exactly.
Do I speak
How do I
Spanish to
speak?
them?
Yeah.
You know, am I fast
Exactly.
with them? Am I slow? That's all. Yeah, it's all in the sales game.
Exactly. I mean, I've made somebody feel just as comfortable talking per se more professional and using slang words. That's just the way that person understands or talks. You know.
Yeah, because if you get a doctor in here, I'm using doctor because they have more of a respectable type
Higher-
of
yeah,
approach,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And if you're talking to them, yeah, dog, this, they're gonna be like, well, maybe this guy doesn't relate to me.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
to be a chameleon. You have to relate
Mhm.
because we're in the business of different personalities.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
we're not always in a doctor's environment where they
Yeah.
all talk a certain, you know.
Yeah.
So
Certain
sometimes we get a hood
people,
guy
yeah.
that slangs and he's just about his paper, and you just got to talk to him that way.
Yep, yep.
You know.
I mean, we get a lot of cops to here too, and you see even them, each one's different as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I also tattoo on them too, and it's pretty cool because like most people, you know, you get intimidated as soon as you're around a cop or
Oh,
whatever, you know. And man, these guys are some of the coolest people I've met.
Yeah.
You would never,
people.
you know, you would never think, but they are people just like us.
They're just doing their job.
They're just doing the job, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
What else? Another good point. So you got to want it bad because there's going to be trials and tribulations. There's going to be shit that's going to test you. Ink's not going to flow the way you want it sometimes. Machines ain't going to be running the way you want them sometimes. The people around you ain't going to be the way you want them sometimes. What's another tip you can give a young artist? Because this is what the podcast is about, man. We want to interview somebody.
I want to bring something up. What about just like in general, like you're starting up, you get frustrated. You know what I mean? Like, what would you give someone a tip? Like, all right, like to slow down. To
I'll
like,
tell you this. The every time I had somebody try to come or like the shop try to come like an apprentice, the first thing I would tell them is, look, we're gonna teach you how to tattoo here, but the biggest things I'm gonna teach you that will also help your tattooing is not even gonna be anything to do with tattooing.
Mm-hmm.
I
Personal skills.
exactly. I say you work on you as a person. and everything else is gonna fall into place. No matter what you do, it could be tattooing, it could be anything. A doctor,
Mm-hmm.
it's all gonna fall into place. You work on yourself. That's the way I feel.
Damn, that's a good one.
Well, it's deep.
That's really deep.
So, I mean, we could try to pinpoint how to fix this and fix that, but you just do you, and everything else should fall into place.
Yeah.
That's
And
my
as
opinion.
you grow, you'll start developing your own system. you know,
Exactly, yeah.
Of when should I draw? When should I post? When should I meet people?
If you're applying that pressure on yourself,
Because how bad you want it,
yes,
right? So it's all
because not everybody does. You
No,
know, not
no.
everybody does.
no. You have different ambitious. You have different ways. Everybody has a different way of doing it. Obviously, I shouldn't even say that, but I just feel like to that point, we all have to just take our own way, but always want to grow. Because
Yes.
we all want to grow at the end of the day. We don't want to just stay that. Oh, that guy. You know how
Wanting to grow includes eating shit.
Yeah.
Eating shit, and that still comes back to like life. Like in life, like that's the same thing. We gotta eat shit to sometimes, and you're not gonna like certain things, but it shouldn't even matter because you're focused on one thing, which is getting better.
that's true.
So eating shit shouldn't even feel like eating shit because you're not even
thinking about
you're not
it
even
like
thinking
that.
about that.
Yeah.
I never seen that. I always just
I
see
think
my
most
future.
people when they talk about eating shit like in life and all that, they don't realize it while they're going through it. Like you said, it's till after we sit down and you really think about it. Like, fuck, I went through that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And that brings me back to like working just on you as a person, bro. You get yourself together and you start to catch those things, or you just become better all around. You could do anything. I could, like, I've tested myself before. Like I went to go do floors. You know what I mean? Just to kind of test myself as to can it be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be tattooing, it could be floors, it could be anything.
Yeah.
You
That's
think
dope.
that got you a little uncomfortable? You going to do floors? Is that part of it? You want to get uncomfortable a little bit?
Yeah, because sometimes I wouldn't think of what would make me uncomfortable. And obviously something new is always going to, something you don't know nothing about is going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Epoxy floor, luxury, high-end abstract art floor. Like as soon as I seen it, I knew I liked it.
What got you into that?
At the shop I was at, I was thinking about getting that shop in Visions
Mm-hmm.
from the homie. And I was already trying to see what I would do. What floors would I do? It's got to be something dope. I'm trying to think, and and my boy sends me this guy's page, DSD paintings on Instagram, and he's killing the game. And I'm scrolling. I'm like, I'm gonna hire this dude to do my floor. Scrolling. Oh, first ever epoxy retreat. So I'm like, yo, I'm there. I knew that I loved it. Just I hadn't even done it. I knew that I loved it, and it did make me uncomfortable because I didn't know. But the love overpowers the nervousness or the fear or anything like that. So I just went and did it.
Damn.
The love overpowers the fear, or the
I didn't.
Quote
Most of the. I should probably be more open about certain
I make it
things.
answer a shirt, dog.
But like I didn't like when I did it. Like I always just do things for myself or like my
Yeah.
family. You know what I mean? So like I went and I trained, and people didn't even know I went and trained or anything until they just seen I did a floor. Next thing you know, because I've always being I was 18 years old in the Swami, I looked like I was 15 years old. I looked little. I've always looked younger, so people wouldn't take me as serious. So I learned early on to not speak with my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean anything. I speak with
Your
work,
actions.
with your
right?
action.
Work and actions. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So 13 years. You say you have 11 years, right?
11 and a half or so.
How have you? We always ask this question to artists, right? And how have you seen the industry change, and where do you think it's going?
I love that I got the last of how it used to be. Like the old traditional
coils and all
rules
that.
and coils, and you have to do this and that. I love that I got to experience that because now I can appreciate the difference versus some people that I know that started tattooing now in these times where it is a lot easier. Like these machines are crazy good.
Mhm.
You buy the right stuff and you're already ahead of the game. So Instagram, we didn't have that. So I'm glad that I got to go through that because even now, even though I do have Instagram and stuff, but I still don't rely on it. You know, it's always still actions and work that you still got to put in, no matter what kind of life you want to, what's the word? Perceive on social media per se. You know, I'm just about tattooing, bro.
Yeah.
It's dope.
It's my life. Yeah.
One other question I want to add too, like before we end this too, what is one of the most memorable stuff, or one more the most memorable, I don't know, anything from tattooing since you started?
Moment.
Yeah, moment. That's the word.
Man, I think our career all around is already a memorable moment.
Yeah.
Because you can't really pick one, because there's just every day is different,
So
every
maybe
month
just-
is different.
Maybe just live in the moment then.
Yeah.
Just live in the moment.
Basically, which I'm still learning now. You know, as live in the moment and live in today.
Where do you think the industry is going?
Um,
What do you see in the future, 10 years from now? What's
honestly,
Mario Inks doing?
Honestly, it's hard to say because it's moved so fast.
Yeah.
Like at a rate that I never, like, when I first started tattooing, like the first year didn't really move that much. Like it was kind of like the same thing, and then next thing you know, in 2-3 years it changed. Now it's like every year it seems like it's just, I don't know, a lot goes on. You know?
New machine.
Because
New
we know more
machines,
people, and more people are popping up. you know?
Exactly.
I'm following. I follow 2 people today that were like, "Fuck, these are dope."
You know,
You know?
the industry has momentum now, like with
Yeah.
with the equipment and everything. And then like more people wanting to teach other people. I am seeing a lot more of that,
Yeah.
you know.
I see some people talk that it's bad, and I think some people say it's good. Where do you stand on that?
Teaching people.
No, just like the way the industry is moving, like you said, it's moving so fast, moving, so productive. It's actually moving now than instead of just staying stagnant.
I think it's like any industry. If you don't evolve, you're gonna get left behind.
Okay, that's
If
good.
you're gonna get left behind, whether you want to be in denial or not,
Yeah,
shit's gonna evolve. And if we don't keep up with the youngsters, we're gonna get left behind.
The
ones-
youngsters,
Yeah.
you guys are the ones.
They're the ones that
That's
keep us.
It's because like you're young,
just generally
me,
speaking,
right?
you know.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
I mean, generally speaking, like whoever's starting the tattoo today,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's crazy that you say that, because I believe that there's gonna be so much work out there that you have. I think where the future in tattoo artists is how good an artist can build their own brand, because now it's not just about the shop, it's about that one person. So
right.
you are your own ecosystem, and your own Mario Inks and whatever he does is his own brand. Joe Shade is his own brand, Romeo.
Right.
So it's how good you brand yourself to your community, that because you can just say, hey guys, I'm available tomorrow, and your own community can hear that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's how good you build your brand from now on people are gonna be successful. You know what I'm saying? How great you can perceive that, you're about honesty, hard work, tattooing, and the better you are at communicating that, and I'm talking about to the youngsters that are starting, don't rely, you have to rely on self-growth so that you could build your brand better, And nowadays you are your own brand, and you have to always think, I'm a brand. And some artists don't like to hear that, They don't understand that aspect. They're like, what do you mean I'm a brand? I'm a company? I'm a Pepsi? No, like your brand is short for reputation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So build your reputation as fast as you can, because then there's going to be so much competition out there. And if you don't build it.
Sorry to cut you off, but I feel like that also, for those people that are just about like, oh, I just do art. I feel like that alone, that mindset that you're talking about, that growth, it builds your art to get better as well. You know what I mean? It goes back to like I was telling you when I went to the Philly convention. I was walking around, I see amazing artists, badass artists, a lot of people, and I'm just like, all right, how can I stand out differently as well? And I feel like that's a question everybody has to ask. Yeah, everybody has to ask that. People.
The only way you're gonna be successful is if you stand out. If you have your own style.
Yeah,
that's the only way you have to.
But it's hard to find your own style.
You have to develop your own style. Well,
you know
like I said, what isn't worth it and isn't hard.
But that's what I'm saying. Also, like that's how I feel like that's how you do develop your own style, by going through that steps that you're talking about.
That's what that is. As a tattooer, it's choosing the hard way.
Yeah,
and that's what I've learned to do since I started tattooing. whatever. I lay out all my options, which is the hardest way, which is the most uncomfortable. Like you said, I'm taking that route.
Like that.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, bro, start painting with me.
Fuck. I bought the easel. Look, I bought everything and haven't used it too. 5 years later.
I'm gonna
All
start.
that work, bro. All that
I was
hard
telling
work.
him,
I spent like 2 hours building that, bro.
Hey,
that's
don't
something
worry
we
about it,
proud
bro.
of. That's
It was a
hard right
test.
there.
It was a test for you. Like the fly swatter test.
Oh man.
You want to hear a funny story?
What's that?
So when he started, we were on the next door. Right? Can I say this?
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
already on there. So fuck it. Of course we can say it. So next door, we have a smaller spot, right? And for some reason, around that time he was apprenticing earlier on, there was a lot of flies there. So fucking, all right, you're the fly guy. So we give him a fly swatter, and I'll be tattooing. I'll be like, Romeo, fly. So he'd go over there, stop drawing, go over there, and just wait.
Dog, imagine standing looking for a fly. Come on, bro. Like
But I can't, and the reason why is because we can't stop, take off our gloves,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
go.
of course.
No,
Go
well,
fucking-
hey, Romeo, apprentice, get the fuck.
Stay
So,
on it.
so I would do that constantly. He would do it too, right? And he would wait there, and we're not thinking of it. We're tattooing. One day at the end of the night, he comes up to me. He's like, Ricky, can I ask you a serious question? Like, yeah, bro, what's up? When can I stop looking for the fly?
because I was there chilling, bro. Just
yeah.
there waiting
And
for it to come by. Yeah.
I wanted to. Did I start
That's
laughing?
right.
No.
You did. You
I
a little
laughed.
bit. Like, just
I
like a
laughed
slight word,
because it was such a humble question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
like, I couldn't even understand what he was asking. So
To
then
me, it was
once
like, because to me, it was like, oh man, this is the task that
That's
they
that's
set
the
me.
task that they send you. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna
no
try to
matter
do it,
how
yeah.
little the task or anything, you always gotta take it serious.
bro, and that's what I loved about him.
I feel like a lot of people look past the small things, but that's what this pawn chess piece represents on my arm. I don't know if you guys know how to play chess,
Yeah, a little bit.
but a lot of people just think of pawns as just nothing. But to me, they're that represents the small details in life that people kind of look past.
Mhm.
But you can't take big steps without the small steps. Like people shouldn't ignore the small steps.
Right. And then that's what he said. He's like, I thought this was, you were giving me like a wax on, wax off type
Test,
of
yeah,
test.
that's good,
And
yeah.
I was like, and me, it was just as
And-
simple as, bro, just fucking kill the fly whenever.
And you know
and,
what?
and if you don't
Yeah.
find it, go sit down. In my mind, I thought it was as simple as that.
Yeah,
Because I
simple
was,
as that,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But to him, he took it to the next level.
He's in a different place.
He's in a different place, and I
So,
respected that. And I
Yeah,
was
you gotta
like, that's
respect that
dope.
because that's how
Bro,
you should see.
He was thinking about a
treat
wax on,
everything, bro.
wax off type
if
of
you
approach.
think of everything as a wax on, wax off approach, you're gonna learn off of everything.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn. You could be tattooing somebody around somebody that's been tattooing less than you. You will always learn from somebody if you pay close enough attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
That's
earlier to answer the most memorable moment,
Mm.
I can't answer that specifically because there's been, like I said, endless. People
hard to
that,
pick,
that
huh?
I've met that have, I'm really close with and had big impact on my life or whatever. And I can't name everybody. It's
Yeah. That's cool. You're still writing your book too. you know?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
bro. Like I said, I'm just getting started, and that's why I appreciate you guys inviting me.
Yeah.
And
no,
just-
you did good, bro. You're a natural. Sure. We'll have to have part
Yeah.
2 in the
Yeah,
future,
yeah.
you know?
You gotta start showing your face more, bro.
Yeah, actually,
You're not too bad.
I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is because one thing I know with sales, it's people buy from people they like,
Yes.
And if they don't know your face, you are the brand, the face of the brand. And we go into that, your reputation. And the clients that already jump into you, they already know how you look.
They already know,
But that
yeah.
new people, they'll be like, what if you're passing by at the gas station, you're putting gas next to it, and the guy admires your work,
Yeah,
and you don't even know how you look. And you
Yeah,
could have been like,
yeah.
dude, let me shake your hand, man. I really love your work.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
definitely.
And that's nerve wracking at first when you start too. I mean, like I feel like ever since we started the podcast too, like we started it 2 years ago. It wasn't consistently, but we just randomly decided, all right,
Started, and that's
let's
what
just start it.
matters.
Yeah. And ever since then, we get clients who already feel like they know us.
They
They
know
come
you.
in and they're
Right,
like, "How you doing?" Like,
Oh, they know the shop.
they know the
Right.
shop. Like, how was your vacation last week or something like
Right,
that? You
right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's dope. That's dope
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because that's part of it, man. Like a person's gonna stay not just because of your tattooing, bro. They can they can find somebody else next door,
Yep.
at luxury or something, Bro, we get a lot of people coming over. Ding, 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 ding. Is Mario Inks here? Like, oh, next door.
Next
You
door.
know?
Yeah, for real though.
You know what I mean? Next door, come on.
shit.
And then we trip them on the way over there. Like, nah, just kidding. What a bell. And yeah, part of it is your face, you know, and how you connect with them, and you can tell the people you connect with, you know.
The first person that brought that to my attention was I don't know if you guys know Robert Foe
Yeah,
on Instagram.
dude's killing it right now.
I respect the fuck out of him, bro.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
doing.
he's a beast.
He's doing, besides tattooing. I met him as a person. I talked to him. I respect him the way that he does it. Nobody's doing it like in the industry that I know, and I respect the fuck out of that man. And he invites me to show my face more, so I should probably take that advice. I'm hearing it again, so
Yeah.
you know. But
I mean, you comparing us to the fact that we're saying something that Robert Foe's saying.
Yeah.
That fool's amazing, dude. You see
He
the
is,
shop
bro.
he's gonna build in
he is, bro.
Hawaii.
I'm glad he gave me the
He's-
opportunity to go tattoo with them. So that was, you know, that was
Dude,
good.
That's awesome for
That
you to
was-
even be considered.
That was
Respect, dude.
Yeah.
So we got a good interview.
He seemed
over
like
here.
a sleeve. One of my sleeves walked into his shop or something, and he messaged me right away, and it's like, "Yo, like you did a dope sleeve," you know, and I opened it. I'm like,
Oh, so you recently went?
this. I went maybe like what months, like 4 months,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
4 to 6 months
Recent,
ago, or
yeah.
recent. Yeah.
At the LA one, I mean the Las Vegas one.
There's 2 Las Vegas ones.
Oh,
There's one in Chinatown, I believe, and then I tattooed at both of them though, Chinatown and the Caesar's Palace inside that ginormous shoe store. It's crazy in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's
one,
crazy
yeah.
in there. Yeah, it's so
with,
dope in
with
there.
J Kicks or whatever.
Yeah.
That was next level
It's-
shit right
Bro,
there.
That's crazy
that
is he's-
spot.
He's very selective on who he lets guest spot too.
Are you a shoe guy?
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
not.
get the whole vibe either.
I mean, I have.
But I mean,
yeah,
it's collectors, you know.
I'm not. I don't get into them like that. If I wear shoes, because I'm gonna probably mess them up. Like I'm gonna use them. But that's what,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Same thing. Yeah.
My nephew's like, "You're wearing those to do this." I'm like, "Well,
Bro, that guy spent like $1 million to do that fucking.
Well, the
spot.
first one was $1 million.
Yeah.
The first one in Chinatown was over $1 million.
Well,
To-
yeah, that's a
to
tattoo
renovate.
shop,
Yeah.
right? No, this one's the bottom floor is all shoes,
Oh,
and the second floor.
and the damn cafe in there, bro. It's dope. They
it's
have
a ice
like
cream
a whole
shop.
drink.
Ice cream
Yeah,
shop? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
it's dope. It's
Bro,
dope.
I was like
elevator, you know,
Yeah.
like to the
Then
top. They
up
got
top,
barbers,
barbershop and a tattoo
And then
shop,
tattoo
all
or
glass, open space, beautiful fucking.
but the
concept.
vibes alone is Vegas, Caesar's
Yeah.
Palace. You got
Yeah,
people
dog.
walking in, like
Yes.
everybody got a phone in their hand. They're recording, like, cause it's just a vibe, bro. It's so bright in there and it looks dope.
do they did you have to find your own clients there, or do they provide you like?
They
with
gave me an
walk-ins?
option of like what I wanted to do as far as get my own clients or just them, and so I just did a little bit of both. I'm like, if anybody wants to come that knows me off my page, then cool, and then also them,
So you tattooed at the Las Vegas one?
both of them.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's a lot of walking, a lot of the vibe you said was dope,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
There was a lot of
The
people
Chinatown
walking.
one is more like this, right? Like in a
Mhm.
shopping center, and then the other one was in that shoe store. So it's inside like the shops or something.
Yeah.
Like the
that.
mall,
Caesar's-
kind of.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
mall part of
Shops.
Caesar's Palace. So yeah,
Prime real estate, dude. I think he pays like
Everybody's-
150K a month.
next to
probably.
Apple. You know,
Damn.
yeah, that's,
Balenciaga's across the way.
Yeah,
like,
it's dope.
People
It's-
with money go there, you know?
it's dope. Yeah,
That's dope, bro.
Damn.
Congrats.
So-
Hell yeah.
thank you. I mean, he gave me the opportunity, so
That's where, you know. And you know, people think that they hear this and they're like, man, he did it right away. You just said it. It's 11 years in the grind. you
Yeah,
know?
and you know what? What was crazy to me when DM me was because this is a man that one of the few that I looked up to that I even found out was tattooed when I first started tattooing.
Did you feel like it was fake too, or what?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. It did. I still like even telling you about it. Like
Yeah.
it still feels unreal. Like that I was tattooing.
That's
There. Like
dope.
it was dope. It was really dope, and they treated me like, bro, like so good.
Did
Yeah.
you meet him or his?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
yeah. You met him.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
tattoos out of there?
definitely. He tattoos mostly out of the Chinatown one.
The one with the crazy walls and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
pretty
I met
unique.
the guys there. They're all good people, bro. The same as you guys. Like they're really good people, and they showed me all the love that they could, and it was dope.
And now he's gonna
experience.
open one up on top of a fucking high rise.
You seen that?
He already
Yeah.
did, didn't he? He has one in I think the one in Hawaii is on a high rise.
Not. Now he's gonna go to like I think it's like a historic. It's like the highest I think. It's
Oh,
like it's a
shit.
crazy building. It looks dope.
It's
It's like all around.
It's
right?
all around like
Yeah.
a neat space.
I seen the one in he did in
Yeah.
Orange County, the one that's like a
Oh
food
yeah,
court
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that.
I haven't been there, but
I haven't been either
I've seen
but
that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it looks dope.
Yeah, when he fucking did that on the Las Vegas one with the tattoo in the barbershop, I was like, fucker. We want to do that here in the Inland Empire,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? But I mean, that's not to say we can't do it, but the idea, like it was never really thought
He
of, you know?
executed it.
He executed
Yeah.
right. And he did it to the
So
I mean,
To the highest
fucking,
level.
to the
he
highest
set up a
level.
line now
Yeah,
or a
it's
bar.
That's a hell
definitely.
of a fucking
Yeah.
bar.
And it makes us hungry now too, you know,
exactly.
because
That's good for everybody.
yeah, now we know it's possible, and somebody to invest whatever at 1.5, 2.5. I don't know how much, you know, don't mark my words, but it's a pretty fucking good amount of money because it's all marble flooring, fucking glass.
Bro, it's like $50,000 just to service an elevator.
Imagine you get stuck like use the wall, use the stairs.
Who's seen the stairs this month?
Do you ever have you owned a shop before?
Never.
No. Would you like that in the future? Or is that something your plans or right now you're just like just enjoying?
It's kind of up in the air right now. I'm kind of.
I feel like you vibe off of different experiences, right?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's kind of what I'm kind of trying to do right now, I guess, because like I've always been to myself. I've always just been focused on one thing, and it's what's right in front of me is which is tattooing. So yeah, I'm trying to like probably vibe out with some more people. Like it was my first time meeting you guys and stuff too, you know, only through Instagram. So that's dope. And obviously getting to know different people, you know, it's all experience. It's all growth and learning and stuff.
That's smart that you're doing that actually, because like I said, you're 28. That's still young. You know, you could use another 5 years of experience, you know, somewhere else. Grab what they do.
That comes back to your what you were saying about building your brand. So now I feel like I'm gonna be patient with it when I find obviously the right spot. I mean, when you know, and just kind of float around a bit and meet a couple different people, like obviously like face to face, and build that momentum so that way, like work on the brand so that way once I do open my shop, I at least have that momentum for that.
You remind me of I don't know him personally, but you got a tattoo from him, Fernie. I feel like he did that, you know? He was patient. Patient. He grinded for me. I don't know. He's been tattooing for like, he's my age, but he's probably tattooing over 20 years.
Forever, yeah.
I'm 25 now.
And
yeah,
you never,
when I started, he was like at year 10 already or something like that.
Imagine.
He's a beast.
And then now he, you know, he waited, he worked with Robert Foe, built his brand.
Yeah, definitely.
So I kind of feel like you kind of saw that path. You know?
Definitely.
And
well, it also came from my whole experience with going over there.
Oh,
that whole plan just kind of came from that, because just like I said, meeting this individual Robert Foe, it was different.
How does he think? Like, what's his whole like
you'd be surprised.
philosophy?
You'd be surprised.
Bro, he's like Steve Jobs of tattooing.
Yeah, bro. He's a very smart man.
I would imagine so. Yeah. So
yeah. He's I mean, I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, I don't get out too much. So like when I met him and then just hearing his thoughts and what he's doing and his plans and everything, and I'm like, man, it just made me just kind of just
it changed your whole perspective.
Changed everything. It changed everything.
That's
so
crazy.
I'm like, man,
it's crazy how much one conversation could change so much.
Exactly. When you think you're like already like on the right path, right? You're like, hell yeah. But then you're like, wait. For now it's this way.
Yeah.
You know, for now. But yeah.
That's dope.
It is. It was a learning experience for sure going over there. Just seeing it, you know, you're seeing physically, like tangible, like what he's doing. Like, you know, these shops are crazy and stuff. Like that's very motivating.
Yeah, you don't see that shit in an empire.
Yeah,
not yet.
definitely not.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
We
There
can
you
be,
go.
you know, this area we have the talent, but maybe you know we don't have the resources. Obviously,
If I had to say something I'm going for, it's probably that.
Yeah.
Exactly how his idea, like
strive. Yeah,
you know.
And if you fall short, man, of that, you still have an amazing
Bro,
thing. 'Cause you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's up there.
For the stars, you know. Yeah,
that's dope, bro.
I don't want to say we don't have the resources for it. Like saying, what do you mean, like clients or what do you
Money?
mean? Okay, money. Yeah,
Money. 'Cause we can build. Anybody can build it anywhere, right? Like we can go to Victoria Gardens and you know go through all the fucking legwork and kiss ass to all the council men. But
at the same time, what good is it gonna do? Like if most artists out here not used to working together.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
I feel
saying.
like,
you know,
I mean, it didn't, like for him, it didn't happen overnight. Robert Foe's been tattooing since the
for like
90s
30
too.
years.
he's built relationships where he can call.
So he
yeah.
talks to
That
people.
momentum.
Yeah.
So when he did, you know, who did open the shop,
He had artists
had
already
others
wanting
artists
to
waiting.
draw.
It's
Yeah.
not like
and it
emptiness.
only amplified it. You know, people are.
I mean, his
working
grand
hard.
opening was fucking sick too.
Yeah, bro.
Did you go to that?
I didn't go to it. I didn't even know him, bro.
No. Oh,
When
that's
I went to
right.
that.
No, you didn't know
No, I
of
didn't
him?
know him. And I know of him. You know,
Oh, you
started
knew of him, but you
tattooing,
didn't know. Yeah.
You know, these are just people that you see on Instagram. You're like,
Yeah.
man, I wish I could tattoo like that one day. And then next thing you know, he's messaging me to invite me to go tattoo there or work there permanently.
Mhm.
So I was like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh,
you know?
so you took the job permanently for a while,
No.
or you just kind
They
of like
offered
tested
me.
it?
Yeah. So I was talking to him recently and thinking about going back more often. You know.
Another artist from, sorry to interrupt you, but from here did the same thing, right? That girl that what's her name? Kat.
Oh yeah. I met her at the Chinatown location.
She's badass
yeah,
too.
she's a badass artist, bro. She's
Yeah.
from Riverside, right?
She was in
Yeah.
Riverside or something like that.
We met her at the Golden State
She's
Convention.
doing a big ass back piece on
Yeah,
a dude.
she's really good, bro.
Sick.
Yeah.
And
All of them. I
fast.
mean, all of them are good, bro.
yeah,
Like
of course.
he even mentioned to me like how he gets new artists. It's not even based off the work
the energy.
necessarily. It's the energy and the vibe and you know.
Mm.
But how do you feel the vibe without meeting them first? You have to see
No,
the
no.
work,
When you
right?
meet him, yeah.
The
Yeah.
work gets you that entry
The
level.
entry, right? Your
And
foot in
then-
the door.
exactly.
That you're a tattoo artist.
And then if you're like a fucking little rock star, cocky ass,
Exactly.
and bounce.
The bounce, yeah.
He's all about energy.
So, and I respect that a lot too. You know,
It's dope, man.
some people are just seeing money, so they're like, "Oh, let's get this dude, even if it's a shitty person or whatever."
Yeah.
You know.
That's
Gems.
so true.
A lot of gems here.
So I know a lot of people follow you on your Instagram and stuff. What can like your followers expect from you in the future? I know you're living in the
Ooh,
moment,
that's a good one.
but like, you know, what can we expect? I know you said you want to tamper with color, you know. I know you got your side hustles.
They can definitely expect something like what I experienced going to Robert Full Shop is something that you can't even expect. A badass experience.
Expect the unexpected.
Something that's just you wouldn't even just something tight, something dope, something different, something just really. I mean, just
So he lit a fire in you.
exclusive. Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. Me and Robert
Definitely.
Fo, you know what I mean? Especially if you follow his journey and you know who he is.
Yeah, and then I think that's what was it more because I've known him. I mean, I've known of him since I started tattooing. So like seeing that, and I'm like, man, yeah.
Yeah, him. I like the way he approaches tattooing as a business and with that love of it, but still, you know, breaking barriers. You know, like
Right.
that shit is never done. And another guy that I follow that I like, I don't know if you heard of
Carlos Torres.
no, not, Carlos Torres, where it's expected, you know, but
Yeah.
it's the dude from Denver. From
Certified?
is it certified?
Nando?
Yeah.
Nando?
I don't never met him either. I don't know how he is, but I like his approach. You know, he's trying to blow up the tattoo industry into other people. You know, and he has a lot of shops. I like that. And who's the other one? And Franco, obviously, for the product sissies. Well, the Bishop ones.
Of course. I mean, he's a tattooer, so you
He's a
gotta.
tattooer,
I mean, you
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
respect
so-
that versus some people that are not tattooers. I mean, if anybody understands this, it's gonna be for sure him. You know.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. Any more questions you guys got? You want to ask some stuff, man? You know, we talked a good while. This is a good one. We definitely got to have them part 2, you know, in the future.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
More.
You haven't done any podcasts like this, right?
Bro, like I said, I've done one thing is tattoo.
Oh,
So,
just
Even
tattooing?
just coming out, you know, like it's new.
Right.
Everything's new for me right now. So
Bro. And a week later, he's going to open his own podcast.
Yeah. Mario Talks.
Yeah. Hey, I hope we get that invite too.
The future Robert Foe project. Yeah, that's cool, man. Shoot. Hell yeah. I want to take advantage of asking you more questions, you know, for the people, for our audience, you know.
yeah, for sure.
What else?
I'm trying to think too.
I'm trying to put myself in the mindset like of every time I watch your lives and stuff, I always have like the questions and stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, just my question would be like sometimes I see you just putting on the whites, you know, like crap, I missed like
You missed
him.
everything?
Yeah, I missed everything. Was that because I joined too late, or sometimes you forget? You're like, oh, let me at least show like the end of my process. You get me?
Oh, like going on the live for the white?
Yeah, you only put like in
Oh.
whites. You get me? Like once you go live, it's only the whites. I'm like, crap.
Oh, because like just my process overall, it's doesn't look like much until it's basically done. It's like a layering process. So
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, if you show people like at a certain stage, they're like, oh, what is that?
Yeah, especially clients. I feel like
I just try
other
to make,
artists probably
I just try to
understand.
make it simple, and like I'm doing the white. People like to see that,
Yeah.
you know, and at the same time, it kind of like I tell the client, yo, I'm gonna go on Instagram Live, and it kind of helps motivate them because the white hurts.
Yeah.
So it motivates them to kind of like go through it well too, you know. So it works out, and then I hope at least somebody hops on there and asks some questions and stuff. So
Yeah,
And
strategy.
I've noticed you read off questions too. Do you have your iPad right there? That way you can see.
sometimes I do,
Oh, okay,
but
cool.
sometimes I can't see it depending where the tattoo's at or whatever. Yeah.
Right on.
You don't save your lives, huh? You just.
No.
I saved mine for like
I
last year, huh? I saved like 100 of them,
And that's-
I
they started
don't-
deleting
and
them.
they start. Well, yeah, they start deleting them, huh?
Yeah.
sometimes I don't even remember what the fuck we're talking about in there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You don't want to be like.
Yeah.
Didn't you get a
Right.
client in trouble like that?
Not really in trouble. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about it.
More.
Let's just say wifey hopped on the live.
There's been a couple situations where we're like, oh shit, man,
Oh,
I shouldn't save this one. You know? But life's important, bro. I feel like
It's just another way for people to kind of connect with you too.
connect with
know?
you and see the process. Again, you're right. Some of it does look like, well, where the fuck is he going? I look at it a different way. I show I'll jump on whenever I remember to do it. I try to make it a daily thing last year, and I had like 150 on there, but the loud music started. Instagram started canceling them.
copyright?
Yeah. But it's cool to go back, dude, and like see like last February what I was doing, and I was like, oh, that's not how I work anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like documenting your actual work if you want to
Right.
grow. I feel like that. Also, too, I just feel like it shows. This is the way I approach it. I feel like it shows the client the process so that they understand. Like, man, a full day session is a full day session. It's not like
Something
3 hours.
realistic.
Call it a full day. Yeah.
So
you know?
that's why I love too is when people get to go on there, and especially if it's something around what they kind of want tatted, like a portrait.
Yeah.
Hey, how long have you been on that?
Yeah.
So I could give them my realistic time as to what I take on a portrait. 6 hours, 7 hours or something. Some people maybe could do it faster, but not me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's different approaches, and we all can kind of like decide how your lives work or your approaches, but
I like this
at the end of the game, just do stuff,
yeah,
do stuff,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Another thing to be productive with,
Yeah, exactly.
you know.
You mentioned like your dogs, you mentioned your family, and then obviously tattooing. How do you find? Obviously, tattooing is always like taking up the majority of your day, right?
Right.
How are you finding the time or even the energy to give to every one of those businesses or even family mainly? You know.
Sometimes it's not really about the time. Like, say 8 hours tattooing, 2 hours with the family. It's what you do with that time. So I could be 8 hours tattooing, but I could be 110% in with my family, where those 2 hours, like, my kids felt that I loved them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to make that time count.
Yeah, you're right. Because sometimes we can be home
Instead
all
of beating
day.
yourself about it, talking about I only have 2 hours, like, do the most of what you can in those 2 hours. Make them feel that you're there,
Yeah.
you know? Because a lot of times we're not, because I'm always tattooing.
Or sometimes you're there all day with the kids, but a lot of times they're in their rooms and you're watching TV, and that's not really productive. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's all how you value that.
What you're doing with that
production.
time. Exactly.
I got a 8-year-old and a 9-year-old now. And
Because, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, that's because I don't feel like we ever might find that balance unless I'm fucking rich. But, you know, but
even then, you don't.
even then, you know, it's the hustler in us just kind of keeps us on our toes.
I saw one of those posts that you know how I post that?
Yeah.
This other one said like, I think people misconstrue what luxury is to them, Luxury to some people is like Balenciaga, all those brands, right?
Yeah.
But luxury really is having time. Time is the luxury we all want,
Yeah.
and
Free time.
free time.
Actual free time, though.
Time to do what you want.
Exactly.
And you
yeah,
need money
exactly.
to do what you want. You can't,
Exactly.
And the reason why is like if you make a real good month of tattooing, right? In that month you can survive for 3 or 4 months with paying all your bills. Then you can go and do shit with your family, you can vacation or whatever. You don't have to worry about coming back on X day because you got an appointment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why we hustle to make that much money or whatever value everybody gives their money, so that you can go on a trip. You can go to, like, where did you go, Carlos? Yosemite, and not be in a rush, One day I want to go cross country in an
Not worry
RV,
about
dude,
work.
and I don't even have to
Yeah.
worry about when I come back. I want to come back when I'm fucking tired of driving.
You're driving. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. I
And
seen that
I
exact
give you 2
post.
days. No, I'm just kidding.
And it's like true. We value the wrong things.
Yeah.
We put value on the brands but in
The
reality, all we
shoes.
want is we want
Yeah.
experiences. But we don't. Some people don't understand that because the pressures of social media.
Of course. Well,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Do you think that goes back with your mindset though? Like the people that value the whole like brands like Jordans have to have the nice
We're all
pants,
we're all
Gucci's.
product of the same system. That's the way we're taught.
Yeah.
We're raised to do those things. The music tells us to do this and do that. Movies and. we're
So
all
do you
part
feel
of
like some people will just reach that point where they're like they start thinking differently?
the- Yep.
Yeah.
Whether for different reasons, some people don't ever.
Yeah.
Some people do. Whether it's a death of a close family member, or it could be anything. You're close. Some you have maybe had near. It could be anything that just kind of a conversation with somebody,
hmm
and then you just like boom.
Snap out of it.
Have a good conversation with a entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur. That should
Yeah.
change your life.
That's the vibe here, man. We're always hustling, trying to, like, anybody that walks into our shop now, like we want them to have some kind of level of entrepreneurship and understand that, right? When you walk in here, we're gonna help you on self grow. We're gonna help you out with those tools, and then also too that you're gonna want to grow as an artist, artistically. So that's the
I
vibe
could-
here all the
I-
time.
I
We're
could-
always watching podcasts, fucking.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I couldn't agree more. I feel like nobody could ever have too much self growth. So like you said, even tattooing podcast, and then that brings up certain conversations with your client that is
Yeah.
ultimately helping you both grow. You're learning from their experience and vice versa.
Then you're bouncing off ideas with other
Maybe
artists.
they
in here
would
as
have
well.
never had that type of conversation with anybody else.
Yeah.
Ever until you.
That's true.
We play. I feel like we play a big part in our clients' lives as they do ours.
Yeah.
They're not just spending. They're spending money
Because
time.
you could get that one client who's thinking about like, oh, I want to start this business. You know what I mean?
And and I've seen it.
yeah, and
I've seen it.
they're
I've-
they're in
you
a
know.
9 to 5 job, and then they come in here, and then we're playing the podcast. We're talking about doing this. We're talking about doing that, and it could motivate them to do something themselves too, as well, right?
I've seen it. Shout out to all those people that I've seen that firsthand. Like my clients,
Mhm.
Sometimes you just don't think certain things are possible till you see them physically, because that's how we are naturally as humans. Like if you don't see it, then it's not there.
Yeah, we've interviewed caterers. We've interviewed what was it? The other one, the business
Credit repair.
credit repair. We
Mhm.
interviewed a fashion clothing line. A friend of mine, she has a store in Renaissance,
Mm-hmm.
and so we asked them to tell us their story, so that whoever's watching, there might be one person watching that doesn't really care about.
But they related to that.
But they relate to that. They're like, man, I have a store at the Swap Meet in Fontana
Yeah.
next to the tattoo
She's
shop,
from around here,
and I want to
Yeah.
get a retail location. You know what I'm saying? And I heard that, and I was like, wow, she could do it. I could do it. So that's the whole point of our podcast, man. To bring knowledge and say we all want to grow. We can do it. You just gotta hear
Motivate
examples, get motivated.
Sometimes we're
Yeah.
inspired by these people. Ultimately, we'll never get to relate to them if you don't know anything about them until you hear someone close to you. Then it hits home. You're like, well,
Yeah.
they could do it. I'm from the same city.
Mhm.
Like shit.
someone. Yeah, like especially when we start thinking about like what they went through. Like I was like, I've been through that. I'm like I've gone through worse. If they could do it, I could do it.
Right.
Exactly. Like,
Right.
oh shit, maybe my path isn't that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just that self thought as well that I
Right.
guess gets you there.
And I mean, how they say like somebody always probably has it worse than you, anyways.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
somebody.
there's always
so
somebody.
We can be,
But we're
Yeah,
stuck in our
dwelling on
heads
that.
sometimes.
yeah.
And
like
we,
everybody.
we're our worst enemy
Worst
in our
enemy.
head.
Yeah.
We know what our faults are. We know
Or
what
we
we're
can
lazy
be.
on.
Yeah.
So
You gotta get that in check.
Speaking about podcasts and stuff, when you have a client, what should they expect? Like, do you put music or do you put podcasts? Like, while they're getting tatted.
Or do you
Uh,
put your headphones on?
No headphones.
Oh.
No headphones.
facts.
I don't recommend headphones ever.
Why?
To me, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's gonna go completely against what I said earlier, as far as making your client feel like they're the only person in the room.
Unless they wanna just zone out, right?
Exactly. Unless they're like, because I have some clients that are like, yo, I'm gonna throw on my headphones. Okay, cool. Well, shit, I'm fucking getting my zone too.
Yeah.
Or I'll raise my music or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
we're both, they know I've tattooed them enough to where they know, like, I take my shit serious and I'm like, this is what I'm focused on,
Mhm.
And then we do have our conversations, stuff like that. But sometimes they're like, I know this is gonna hurt. I'll be back.
Boom.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really too.
Typically, that happens with returning clients, right?
Yeah.
And new clients usually have that excitement. They want to get to know their
they probably
artists.
got a leg sleeve going on
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
But I would say that brings me also back to like everybody's different. So the second that person tells you hello, or even from the text, if you could get their vibe, you know, just by their word selection and stuff like that, then you could almost kind of know. So like when you meet them, then you gotta kind of know how to attend to them per se. Like it may be a conversation about entrepreneurship, depending what they say. It depends.
Just going with the
Go with the flow.
flow of how they
Yeah.
are. Cool.
Go with the flow. Be open. Just be open to anything.
So when they say, "Yo, what up with the tat?"
What would it take?
DM, yo, what up with the
I gotta
tat?
smoke after that. I'll reply.
Yo, you do tats?
Yeah. Yep.
So you down to come
Or-
back again or what?
Oh, bro, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely, man.
Definitely.
Fuck yeah, you brought some good stuff, bro. You got a lot of experience in your bag, you know, and you guys are, like I said, it's all
28.
All of us do.
young. Yeah, we all do, you know.
It's just a
even
matter of
him,
communicating
even
it, like talking about it, so we all can relate. Like you say, help each
Yeah.
other.
I always tell Romeo here, man, you're like, for some reason, you fell into a good place, man, where I would have liked to fall into, you know, get to learn from some artists and then get to do this, you know. He could have landed in another shop where they're not doing any type of this.
Well, let me tell you,
you know?
that it was never like respect and love to all my homies, but it was never like the shop. It was always me. I was the youngest, but I was always the one that was like the party pooper or whatever. Like I
Mhm.
was
You're
get to
just-
work. Hey, stop fucking around. They're older than me. I'm like, stop fucking around. Get to work. Let's fucking do this. Like I'm always thinking about that. So that was always my vibe. You
Mm.
know, keep trying to keep everybody like not in check, but
But at least act some kind of professional. Listen,
Yeah,
take your
yeah.
craft serious
take your craft
because
serious
because it shows. you know?
especially like when you're first starting, people are only gonna take you as serious as you take yourself. When I first started, I made the baddest business card I could make, because off top, when they see that shit, they're like, they know he doesn't fuck around.
Yeah.
Off top, you know, that's what's gonna reflect how serious you take yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nobody will
There you
take
go.
you serious if, unless you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because a lot of artists do get into that whole party mood, party mentality.
Yeah.
Because once you start getting money, you know what I mean?
Get comfortable.
Yeah, you get comfortable, you go party, and then it just becomes your life.
And that, you know, that I have nothing against it, but that's, I mean, if you're working around me,
To
that's
each their
just
own.
like
Yeah.
I personally, like, I try to just keep everybody's focus I can, because like I said, I want everybody to put the same energy I'm putting so it can match,
Mhm.
so we could all grow, because not just one person can carry all the weight. Obviously, like, you know, I see you guys working together, like that's what's gonna get you guys moving, you know.
Yeah.
For sure. And fast.
It's good.
Cool.
Good thing it looks like we're doing something good.
You are, bro.
Sometimes
I mean,
it ain't perfect, but
Yeah.
we're doing it, you know.
no, nobody is.
But we have the same.
The difference is like you're trying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference.
And we have the same goal in mind. So whether somebody falls out or if we that goal's still in the middle, so we know that we have to go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. Definitely. Hell yeah, iconic. We're trying it. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. So man. So if you want to finish up the podcast, then how can people reach you for a I know you're very exclusive on your style tattooing, but how can they reach you or your Instagram again? You want to tell us?
Mostly just Instagram. It'll be Instagram. That's kind of where I do everything. I have a text button on my bio, but mostly just Instagram, Mario_Inks with double I's.
I just checked. There's a Mario _Inks with no.
That's what I thought it was.
Huh?
When you told me about it, that's
Uh-huh.
what I thought it was. I was like, and then he walked. I was like, that's not right. Yeah.
Oh, just what? That's double
Yeah.
eyes.
It's
I
like
didn't
the
know.
second. It's like the second time. One time I was getting a haircut, and they're like, "Yo, I seen your work," and they showed me. I'm like, no. And I messaged the page, and yeah, they blocked me and blocked everybody. Right? That was.
Oh,
right
there was.
there.
It was a. He used your name.
Something like that. And then
Because there's
now-
one that has.
that was a different one. I just
But he
barely-
wasn't using your work,
I just
right?
barely, yeah, he
He
was
was?
using my work.
Oh no, this
Yeah.
guy's not.
He's using my work.
No.
Who
No,
knows?
this one I just seen recently. Too. Somebody
Yeah.
told me about it. Like, hey, there's another one. I'm like, oh, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one. I mean, it's hard. You know what I mean? How many? You have a name that's
You gotta make
used a
those
lot.
eyes
you know what I'm
capital,
saying?
It's funny because
Yeah.
even like I have double eyes on my Instagram name.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's not like that on my birth certificate.
Yeah.
But my kids actually, they're legally like that, double I's at their names.
Oh, that's
I
dope.
did that. Yeah.
The name Mario's too.
No, so I got, so I got Leilani.
Oh,
and then
okay.
N-I-I, Melanie, A-N-I-I, and then
Okay.
Rosemary, A-R-I-I.
That's
Dope,
dope.
Cool.
All right.
Let's send it, man. I think
Your
this
turn,
is
bro.
good.
You know,
All right, iconic. We just had this dope artist. Dropped a lot of gems. If you guys want to like a part 2, message us in the comments, or even have any other questions for Mario if he does come back. Like, comment, share, and I hope you guys got something out of this. Peace.
Yeah.
it's a wrap.
Hey, bro, you're dope.